How about now? I said I'm kind of just testing here, but excuse me. All right, welcome to the retirement club. You guys are funny. It's another test to see if I tried something different on this Twidget. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. It's really just have to mess with it, keep making comments. You just type in any kind of crap, and if it goes for more than an hour, we're doing good, I guess. That's the only way I know how to test this thing. Yeah, it's OBS. Got all the, for some reason, I have no camera control. I don't know why. Why not? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm forgetting about the delay. Call me brilliant. Okay. Should come in right about now. There we go. Okay, that's good. So let me go back to OBS here. I'm bouncing back and forth between OBS and the actual live stream on Chrome. All right, James, we'll see you in a bit. I hope I got this thing squared away. I hope I do. I did a completely different setup here. It's still Twidget for the chat, but I'm doing it differently again. And it seems to be working so far. So we'll see. I hope it works because I'm really getting a little tired of all this horse shit. I'm showing a lot of dropped frames here. And I've got a different screen. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would be showing that. I'm not sure why of that yet. Hey, train man. Um, it's a little different really. I don't have this little square box anymore. It's green, yellow, and red. Now it's got a kilobyte per second rate. It's in the green at the moment, but it goes between green and red. So I might have to make some changes within OBS because what I did too, I've got the absolute latest version of OBS, which is the beta, which is 30. I was running 27 in there, which is really far behind. So I figured I'd take a chance and run the brand new one. We'll see how it goes. It seems to be staying in the green at the moment. Still got a lot of drop frames though, but I could probably correct that later on. I can't do it right now. And James is back. Oh, you're editing your video liftgate, your liftgate video. That'd be cool. I'll have to look for that when you post it. I want to see how that came out. That's going to be really nice. So, I had the trains running a minute ago, but somebody bumped the liftgate and had a little derailment. Yeah, I'm getting worse and worse here on trying to get all this stuff back on track. And trains are moving. At least one of them, anyway. Wait till this passed and see what's going on. That one's not quite right on it either. You guys can hear the cow or not. He's a moving. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Okay, that didn't work out too well. Ah, we got two trains running now. I don't know why these two came off the track, but I'll deal with that later. Alright. Let me get back in the chat here, see what's going on. Video not posted yet. I figured, well, I'll look for it when it's posted. In the UK, your shirt means you're drunk. Yeah, I imagine it does. You guys are weird. Hey, Tom, how's it going? I'm testing OBS again. I'm trying a different version. I've got the latest version of OBS, which is the beta. It's 30. And I'm also trying a slightly different version of Widget for the chat. So you have to lay it in a little differently than I did before. It's low. Let's see. Why is it low? Let's see if I can raise it. I can't raise it. Hold on. Let me raise it a little bit, Mike. How's that? That better? I brought it up a little bit on that, so. What's wrong? Well, StreamYard is fine, but I'm going to use StreamYard when I want to do guests. But other than that, it's still a little low. I could bring it up even more. Hang on. All right, how's that? That should be a lot better, I hope. Okay, so hey, race fan, how's it going? Lee, how's it going? Anfield Road layout. So hopefully this new combination will work for me. I hope. We'll see. Now I still plan on using StreamYard, James, but only when I want to do guests on. So it won't be all the time, but it will be periodically. Maybe once a month I'll use StreamYard and bring in a guest. Because I had a lot of fun the other night, last night, and I think you guys did too. Hey, Les, how's it going? So, yeah, we did pretty good, but I don't want to use StreamYard all the time. I still like OBS. I think it's better. So we'll have to wait and see on that. This version 30 is a little bit different. I'm using slightly more CPU power. And I had quite a few drop frames in the beginning. It seems to have corrected itself. And I'm actually in the green now, but instead of just a square box, it shows green bars and 2,760 kilobytes per second. Whatever the hell that means. So that. Put you up on the screen here. Good, Jim, but not in for a while. No problem. Anyway, at least I got some things working anyway. I've been kind of busy today, but mostly doing cleanup. And I thought, I better not wait till last minute to get all this stuff straightened out. So I'm going to turn this mic up a little bit more too. I'm showing kind of low on the meter there. Try that. That better? It should be. Hopefully. I hope it is anyway. All right. Nice shirt, huh? Yeah, we the people are pissed. Yeah, I did a wise guy video earlier and uploaded it. So I usually wear a shirt like this when I do my wise guy video because they're kind of political in nature. Where'd it go here? Goody Chiefs got back to me and they are sending me a replacement part now, but I've not shipped it yet. Well, that's good news, Tom. Glad to hear that. No, I'm not wearing the earpiece today. I really don't need it at the moment. And so the only time I would really need it probably would be on StreamYard because I don't want to get too much echo in there or feedback since everything's right in front of me. But here it's not an issue. I don't have any sound coming out of my main monitor at all. I got the sound turned off. So if I put the earpiece in, I would hear the music and anything else in the background. But since there's nothing going on, there's no reason to use it. Yeah, technically pissed off. And there's so many ways of saying it that, American slang, what can I say? Tom says, Jim, I took the original extruder motor out and there's a big black gear and I moved it and the gold gear did not move. And strip it out maybe, you think? You should be able to see that if the gear is stripped. Hey, Joe. Now what the hell do you need a damn calendar for? I know what day it is. It's Friday. I'm doing my testing again. I'm trying to get this shit straightened out. When I get my mindset on something, I've got to get it right. I'm relentless. I will keep on trying until I either shoot something or I get it right. Yeah, I don't really need to be shooting anything in here because this shit's expensive, so there will be no shooting in here. But I will get it right. Hopefully. Remember last night I couldn't get the one train going? BNSF, it was the alternative to... It's actually a sister to the other one that was squeaking. Well, I don't know what happened, but it's using the same road number code as the other one, so it's not using the actual road number that's on the loco. I found it quite by accident. I'm telling you, it's crazy. And he says, a bonehead with a bone, LOL. No, he ate his bone already. But he's down there, just kind of hanging out. Pogo is. I just hope this works because I'm getting so tired of screwing with this stuff and researching and doing this and doing that. So hopefully I've got something that actually works for a change. I'm hoping anyway. Am I getting any buffering at all down there? Did you notice? I don't have my laptop on, so I can't really see myself. Tom says, Need to change CV19 to 0, so that will make sure the engine is not consistent. Yeah, that could be what happened. Well, that's still weird, though, because when you consist, you're still using both road numbers, and you're just putting them together into one unit. This is showing the exact same road number as the other one, and they do actually have separate road numbers. I don't know what happened. That's one of the things with the scale trains. Their decoders sometimes get a little weird. So something happened and it changed. I'm going to have to do a full reset on it, get it back to 03 factory reset, and then actually program the proper road number into it. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. The doggy likes it so far tonight. Yeah, he's just hanging out down there. He's got nothing to bark at. At least not that I'm aware of, anyway. Hey, I didn't remove the heart from the chat. Is it in there on any of you guys'? Because I don't show it on mine at all. Not even in the Chrome browser. So I don't know what the hell is going on with that, you know. So you see the little heart down there in the bottom right corner of your chat screen. Let me know if it's still there. I didn't remove it from my end, so if it's there, it's because I didn't remove it. All right, Jays. Well, get back to work on that video. Once you get it uploaded, let us know so we can check it out. Hey, I kind of figured it was. I don't know why it's not on mine. It's weird. Like if I go, so I've got the Chrome browser opened up right now. You know what? It's not there, but it is there. If I hover over where it is, you guys can probably see that. There's hearts and stuff going up. But it's not actually on my chat screen. But I kind of knew where it was with the cursor, the arrow. And it is technically there. I don't know why it's not showing up. That's weird. Okay, well that settles that problem then. At least I know it's still there. What is the road number of that engine? There are 3 CVs, and you can reset it. I'll just do a general reset, Tom. It's the easiest way to do it. I think the reset on that's 09 or something like that. I'd have to look. I forgot. But I could do it right on the controller and just do it. But I'll get to it later on. Not a big hurry. Joe says, I've never ever seen the heart you speak of. I use a Brave browser. It doesn't show up on Brave, but it shows up on Chrome. Of course, if you're using your phone, it doesn't show up on the phone either. So that makes a big difference too. Yeah, you're right. CB8, I knew it was one of them. So CB8 gives you a general reset, brings it back to factory specs, and the factory DCC code is 03. So I'll go back to 03 and then change it to the actual road number of the loco. So I've had that happen before on a different loco. I don't know why it happened. It's weird, but it's just one of those things. Hey, Rail Artist, how's it going? And he said, and this is one of the reasons I stay DC. Number 2 is the expense. Well, that's true. The only thing the nicest thing about the DCC is you don't have to worry about having blocks, you know, and you can run multiple engines on the same track and control them independently. So that's kind of the only benefit of DCC. But I like it. But yet every now and then, though, they do some weird things. And Jim, was that engine in a consist? Yes, it was at one point. That was some time back. It was running with its sister engine. But something I said, something could have went wrong. Because when I consist locos, you type in the primary number of the lead engine, and then you hit the MU, multiple unit, hit the second road number on the second loco, and on and on and on. Run as many as you want, and that's how it works. And if you want to break it, you just delete the second loco from the consist, and everything goes back to normal. Well, for some reason, something didn't. So, what can I say? That's that's the thing with DCC, really. I mean, and realistically, that takes the scale trade uses what? That's the shit. What decoders that got in them? I can't remember. They're not the best decoders, you know. I still think the Tsunami decoders is the way to go. I think that's the Digitrax decoder in there, isn't it? Oh yeah, ESU. Sorry. Yeah, the ESUs aren't that great. I mean, they're okay, but it's not the best decoder out there. I would still rather have the Tsunami. I think it's a better decoder, but I've got the one that's, well, you can't see it now, but where the hell is it? It's up on that shelf. It's an SD45 scale trains, and I've got a Tsunami 2 decoder to put in that. The decoder's in place, but I still got to hook up the lights. The motor controls are there, but the light's not hooked up yet, so I put that aside, and it's just been on the back burner for who knows how long. But I get to it. Tom says, my scale train engine has a Tsunami. You had that put in, didn't you? Or you put it in? Yeah, she says, I replaced all ASU decoder with... And that's a smart thing to do. Because really the Tsunami 2 is a far superior decoder than the ESU decoders. So, I'll do that at some point too down the road. No big rush on it. Same thing with my BLI Loco. I'm probably going to put a Tsunami in that. The only thing I haven't figured out yet is how I can still retain the smoke generator. Because I don't think the Tsunami 2 has a function for the smoke generator. Not 100% on that, but either way, I will find a way to do it. Okay, you did them yourself? Cool. So, yeah, I got so many things I got to do at some point, and I'll get them done someday. I just don't know when. So, it's like everything else. Where'd Mother Loco go? Did it quit? I don't see it. It's probably there somewhere. Oh, okay, they do have one. So maybe it'll have a function for the smoke generator then. That'd be cool. Yeah, yeah, real artist. I drop a lighter fluid in a match. I showed you that. I showed you guys that one video where the guy made a new smokestack, and I guess that's what he did. He put lighter fluid in it or something, and lit it, and let the train go around. It was pretty slick. I'm sure eventually it would have screwed up the shell of the train, but it was kind of neat though. Yeah, Jason would know. I'll have to ask him when the time comes. Like I said, I'm not in a big hurry for all this stuff. I got too many other things, projects going on that at the moment take precedence, but at some point in time I will get all this shit straightened out. At least that's my plan anyway. I still don't see that other Loco. I think it quit running somewhere. I don't know where it is. Let me switch cameras here and see if we can find it. Alright, looks like it's stalled all the way down on the end. The yellow one's coming through. That's the Millennium County. The one on the inside or left track. It seems to have stalled, so something must have happened. I'm not going to worry about it at this point in time, but typical, right? Ah, James said the video's loading up now. That's cool. So if you guys want to break away whenever and go watch it, by all means, go ahead and do it. I got to keep this running for probably at least another hour to see if it's going to lock on me or not. But that's that. It's got down to Acapulco. If it did, it did of its own accord. I had no say in it. That would be a little weird. You know what I should do? I should fire up this laptop. And then I won't have to keep switching around to different screens to see what the hell is going on. You guys ever eat pizzelles? My mother-in-law makes them every now and then. Big treat. I love these things. Hey, Derek, how's it going? Yeah, Thursday 2.0. There you go. I'm thinking probably not. Ah, Tom, you love pizzelles too? Yeah, they're great, aren't they? She does a really good job of making them. She just, I helped her buy a new pizzelle iron, and it was a piece of shit from Amazon, so we sent it back. But her old one is still working. She's just got to be careful with it. She paid a lot of money for it. It's only about a year old, but you know, it's like everything else. You just can't get anything good anymore. Well, it's not really a waffle with it, and they're very thin. It's an Italian treat. And there's two ways. She makes them. I don't have any teeth, so I don't really like them real crispy. But they're real thin. And you put the anise in it, or some Italians refer to it as anisette. Yeah, it's real good. I mean, they're tasty. My dog loves them. Almost as much as I do. So yeah, he's all perked up, ready to get one. You want some Pogo? There you go. Yeah, he stands right to attention for those things. Woof, yeah, that's right. Woof. Come on up here. Come on. Come on up here. Pogo, come on up here. Come on. You know the camera's on, don't you? He's camera shy. He doesn't. It's hard to get him on the camera. Let me get this brought up on the laptop so I can watch the chat and make sure I don't lock up. Actually, I do. I don't have it out right now. I've just got a small section with the part that runs into JMRI. And I'll do my programming through JMRI on my test track. I just got to drag it out here, plug it in the USB port and the power, and it's ready to go. And that's usually the best way to do that for me. Papa John in here? I didn't even know that. Papa John, how you doing? Must have snuck in here and I didn't see it. Smart. Good. Good boy. Let's get this up and running here. Oh, there's Shortline Thursday. I didn't even click on it. Alright, I'm up and running there. Nothing bad about these pizzelles. They make you thirsty real quick. Anytime I eat them, I gotta get something to drink. Oh. It's actually pretty quiet in here today. I haven't even fired up the printers yet. Of course, I don't really have anything to print at the moment. Nothing important anyway. So. Be right back. Gotta walk a bit. Back spasm. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, by all means, man. Work it off. Walk it off. And he says at dinner, I put the doggy is 6 inches away. That's like him. He'll sit right at my feet when I'm eating dinner, just waiting for me to hand him something. I always do, because probably like you, I hate to see a dog look hungry, you know. And he's smart. He knows when dinner. He knows when it's dinner time. Boom, he's right there, right beside me, you know. Funny as hell. Tom says, I put powder sugar. That's a good idea. I never thought of that. I should try that. I bet you that makes it really taste really good. I was thinking about buying my wife one of those Pizzelle irons, but because she'll make them if she has the stuff to do it with. But as long as my mother-in-law makes them on a regular basis, it's not a big deal. You know? She'll spend like 4 hours cranking them out, you know, because they only take a minute or two to make each one. And mine stares at me whenever I mean, all dogs are like that. They live for food, man. You know, I wonder if sometimes they really just only love us for our food and not for actually us. You know. I heard somebody say a long time. They said that dogs must think humans are the greatest hunters in the world because we always have amazing amounts of food. Like we never out of food. We never go hungry. We never miss a meal. You know. And the dogs don't really probably understand where the food really comes from. You know. So they think that we're the greatest hunters. Maybe we are. I don't know. Strange stuff. Was that good, Pogo? You enjoy that? You eat better than I do sometimes. Get your pepperoni, you got pizzelles. You had some on my burger earlier. Some on my pasta earlier. That dog really does eat better than I do. There you go. Mine lets me live here because I feed him. I got a little sign out front. It says, "Welcome to the, welcome to our family. The humans just stay here." You know. I got all four of my dogs. You know, pictures on there. It's really cool. I bought it. You know. Hey, Thomas Moore. How you doing, Thomas? Teach the sausage, don't touch the sides. Uh-oh, what do you got, Thomas? I finally have a BNSF railroad spike. Oh, cool. Yeah, I watched your short today. The one with the spike inserter. The machine that drives the spikes. That was pretty cool. They probably had one of those here because they replaced a whole bunch of ties on the short line right behind my house. They replaced a few of the rails, a few sections of rail. And so obviously they drove new spikes in. They had a whole bunch of machines here, you know, maintenance away stuff. I didn't pay much attention to it, but I should have probably videotaped a lot of that stuff. My sign says, "A spoiler rotten beagle lives here." I had a sign like that back in Naples for my German Shepherd Turbo. I had his picture put on it, and underneath it said that Turbo is a spoiled, rotten German Shepherd who lives here, or something like that. It was funny. I don't know whatever happened to those signs either. I haven't seen them since it came up here. They might be packed away somewhere. I'm not sure. I had two of them. I had one for Turbo and one for Roxy. And I never got any made for the new. I never had one made for Buddy. Of course, Buddy paid. Well, Buddy and Turbo both have passed already. Buddy passed first 2 years ago. And Turbo passed last year. Roxy's probably going to be next. She's either 15 or 16. Although she looks like hell. She's deaf completely. but she's still spry. She'll get up and run around, and you know, she goes outside to do her business most of the time. So I don't know. She may live to be 20. Who knows? Pogo's the baby. He's a little over a year old, I think. Year and a half, somewhere around there. I'd have to double check. So the road spike has a JHC on top. Okay. So what do? You have to cross-reference that stuff with like something on the internet that tells you what those letters actually mean, what they stand for, because otherwise they wouldn't hold much meeting. Pretty slick though. You should do something like I don't know who did Dave Thurber. He had somebody make it for him. I can't remember who it was, but he took a board and he drove the spikes into it, and the spikes are actually coffee cup holders. Hangs the whole thing on the wall. It's pretty slick, and you could like probably antique it or something, make it look old. It's pretty cool. I don't drink coffee, so I don't have any coffee cups, so there's no reason for me to do something like that. Or I probably would, because I think the idea is unique as hell, you know. But alas, I'm not a coffee drinker. Ah, that's right, Pappy makes them. I couldn't remember who the hell did it. Thanks for that, Joe. Pappy makes them. Yeah, it was a coffee rack. Dave Thurber's got one. I don't drink coffee, so it's you know. And unfortunately, the only glasses I have, well, in here I drink out of cans because it's convenient. But in the house, I have my. I don't know if you guys remember, Burger King had the Lord of the Rings glasses. They were nice goblet type things. Well, I bought like four of them back then, and I had them for a long time. And initially, eventually, my wife's got butterfingers sometimes, and they break. So I bought four more a few years ago. They all got broken. I just recently bought four more. They were cheap, but I think it was like $30 for four of them. I mean, it's more than what they originally cost, but I really like the glasses, and I don't like drinking out of. I won't drink out of plastic at all. Me and plastic just don't get along. So it's got to be real glass. And hey, Ray, he can blame me for that, Ray. I'm confused. Today is Friday. Yes, it is. It's another test. I'm back on OBS and another version of Twidget, and hopefully it will work. I don't know, but hopefully I'll find out. So anyway, I'm back to that's like I said, for probably the last 10 years or so. In the house, the only glass I drink out of is those Lord of the Ring goblets. Now I got the stupid lights that you put up under. I never used them, but I actually have them. They're still in the packages. I got like 12 of them. I'm kind of surprised those glasses, and they were brand new. Still in the boxes with you know, the plastic wrapped light assembly that goes on the bottom. So I guess people just hung on to them, and then at some point they just figured, well, they're really not worth that much, and they're not. You know, time warp. So, like I said, I may have to buy four more before all said and done, and maybe just sock them away because they do tend to get broken rather easily. I don't know why. Thomas said I got on the wrong line. Yeah, I had two streams going. I didn't know it. Something happened. So I eventually shut down the second one. I put on the bottom, this is the wrong stream, look for the other one. And most of you guys figured it out and got onto the real one. But, yeah, There you go, Ray. So testing the stream, don't cross the streams. Remember Ghostbusters? Never cross the streams. Except for the end, they did cross the streams. And that was the only way to kill that puff guy there, the puff monster, whatever the hell it was, the marshmallow guy. Ah, there we go. Real Artist is back. Walked 3 times around the yard and had to do some therapy for wifey's foot neuropathy. Yeah, I got neuropathy in both my feet from the diabetes. Not fun. Every now and then I'll get really bad nerve pain in the one foot. Like just 2 toes get it. And I just want to hack them off. But they supposedly have medication for that. But I'm real leery about taking a lot of drugs, you know. So I take D3. I take, what else? I take several vitamins that are supposed to be really good for that. Can't remember what they are now. But yeah, I know what she goes through. Yeah, that's it. Stay Puffed. I couldn't remember. There was one of them things. Mr. Stay Puffed. And they did have to cross the streams for that. Oh, I don't know. Well, my drop frame rate went way down. It's at 5.5%. Started out at 20%. Still in the green. I've been staying in the green pretty good. CPU usage went down a little bit too. Situated between 48 and 50%, which isn't bad. And we're at 60 frames per second. That's good. So yeah, overall, it looks like it's working pretty good. And the drop frame rate is actually dropping down as the further it goes. So I think it corrected a lot of its own issues. I'm not sure how, but it did. The Marshmallow Man, yep. Realize says I'm doing research on what I call tickle therapy. If it works for her, try some others if positive. Yeah, that's a good, let me know. I think I've heard something like that. I don't know what it's about. But I briefly heard something that there is some therapies that do work that don't involve drugs. So, yeah, there you go. Once a nurse, always a nurse. Yeah, let me know if you figure out something because I'd be interested. I mean, I've read too that there's ways to reverse the neuropathy in your feet. I don't know if I agree with it or not or believe it, but it would be a hatchet. There you go. That's one way to fix it, but I kind of want to keep all my parts. You know what I'm saying? And considering that I really only have it in, like I said, a couple of toes on my feet, technically, because there are days that I can't feel the bottom of my feet. You know, it's a wonder I can walk around and not fall over, but I mean, it's just completely numb, you know. It's from the diabetes, unfortunately. Well, I appreciate that, Real Artist. That would be nice. uh, no, it's not the same, Andy. It's a little different. I had a friend who had gout. He passed a long time ago, but he used to get it real bad in his feet. The doctor said it was from, well, he loved tomatoes. He would eat raw tomatoes like all day, every day. And there's something in the tomato that causes gout. It's, what is it called? You know the answer to this, Real Artist. I can't think of it. Some sort of acid. I can't remember what it's called now, but it stems from certain foods, and tomatoes are one of the biggest contributors to this acid that causes gout. And I mean, his was so bad, I mean, it was almost crippling for him, you know. But I had it checked out, and I don't have gout, so thank God for that. Just neuropathy. And like I said, it's from the diabetes, and I got to quit screwing around and get on that BB diet. And, you know, a lot of the guys are saying it killed their diabetes, it cured them, so I just got to put together enough money to eat all that good food for a minimum of 30 days, and that's the problem. You guys know what food costs nowadays. It's nuts, you know. I think the only thing you need is beef, beef, bacon, eggs, butter, and I believe ice cream. I don't know how the ice cream gets in there, but those are the five, the BB diet. And supposedly it's supposed to reset your body and cure your diabetes. Yeah, we're all on that diet, man. I see food, I eat it. Yeah, I'm not that bad. I've got pretty good self control for the most part, but um, it sucks. Sometimes I just, you know what? I'm gonna eat that. I don't care if it's good for me or not. Just every now and then, not very often. You know, but I get a craving every now and then. Like I gotta have something. I can't think of what it might be. Not real bad for me, but you know, diabetics aren't supposed to eat it. It's like, you know what? You can only go so far in life with eating really bland food. Every now and then you just got to say, you know what? It's not going to kill me this one time, and hopefully it doesn't. So, you know, protein and dairy. Yeah, well, that's true. It's supposed to be good for you. Of course, that's what they tell you. You know, you're supposed to do more protein. And I've always been a meat eater anyway. So, you know, I eat, like I said, I have turkey burgers, I have regular hamburgers, an occasional steak. I had bacon yesterday. That was good. I got to get more of that. What else do we eat? Breaded veal cutlets. I love veal. You know. But I also love pasta. And pasta's not really good for you because of a lot of carbs. You know. But you know, gotta eat something. Yeah, I've always like to tell everybody I'm a non-vegetarian. I don't eat vegetables. I'll eat carrots, and that's about it. I just a lot of the vegetables I just don't like. So Joe says, "Did you hear that Art from PDR injured?" No, no shit. Oh man. Uh, know what got him? Was it old age or what? I know he was up there, but oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That really sucks. Well, maybe I have to do a tribute to him next week on the live stream. Yeah, yeah, that sucks. I feel bad for him, man. Real artist says I do the major amount of cooking here. I am trained as a chef and I love it. There you go. Yeah, I used to do all the cooking till I had the stroke, and now I can't stand for long periods of time. So I mean, I could probably get a stool and sit on that in the kitchen, and because I'm one of them guys, I have to stay with my food. You know, I don't leave my food when I'm cooking it because I can honestly say I've never ever burnt food, you know, or overcooked food or any of that stuff because I'm always there, keeping an eye on it, stirring it, checking it out, you know, adjusting the temperature or whatever. And I've just always been that way, you know. So I can't really do that now. And that's the problem my wife has. She'll start cooking. Oh, I got to do this, and she'll forget about the food. Not all the time, but sometimes. By the time she gets back, you know, it's kind of burnt to a crisp, and it's like that. You gotta stay with the damn food. Well, like you said, it could have been anything. I hope we didn't get you know, the injection because a lot of people that got that are dropping dead. Unfortunately, they won't admit it. I mean, you won't hear that anywhere, but it seems like there's been a hell of a lot of deaths here lately, more than usual. And you figure about, I think they said something like 38 or 41% of the population got the showstopper fix, and a lot of them are dropping dead. You know, I never got it. I don't believe in that stuff. You know, I won't get the one for pneumonia or for the flu. I've never gotten any of that stuff. You know, I've gotten the flu maybe 3 times in my life. It wasn't that bad. I actually got the, you know, the showstopper. Well, me and my wife did back in 2019. That was right before they knew what it was. We thought it was just the flu, you know. So we didn't go to the doctor or anything. It took about 10 days, went away. I mean, we didn't get really bad stuff from it, but like I said, I've had the flu before. Some people actually die from seasonal flu. I think they said 156,000 people a year die from seasonal flu in the United States alone. So, the other showstopper, it could have killed them whether they got the showstopper thing or not. But I just felt that they didn't have enough time to test it. So I says, you know what, I'll just take my chances. I may not look like it, the way I cuss and all, but I really am kind of religious. I'm a born again Christian. I believe in God and Jesus Christ and all that, but so I tend to put my trust in God, and I've survived things that should have killed me. And I figured, well, maybe God's looking out for me. I know not everybody believes that, but for me it works, and I have a strong belief in it. And I trust God more than I trust man, unfortunately. Andy says, I can move right in. I love food that's incinerated. The only thing I like incinerated is my hot dogs. I love hot dogs. Worst thing you can do, I get the pure beef hot dogs. I don't get the cheapo ones with high salt and all that. But I get the ones that are actual real beef. And I love to just cook them to a crisp. If they're not black, they're not done. Well, that's about the only thing I eat like that. I've had blackened fish once. That was pretty good. That's true, Ray. It really is. See, the newest strain, the symptoms are the same as your basic cold. Sniffles, runny nose, congestion, coughing. It sounds like a cold to me. And I won't get the new one either. I guarantee you that. you know. Yeah, same here, Ray. No and no. There you go, Richo. Don't comply. Um, my mother-in-law got you know, she got two of them because she got the, was it Johnson and Johnson was the two-part, I think. You had to get one and a couple days later get another one. But she's doing okay so far, knock wood. Because, if you die suddenly, well, you probably won't know why, but the rest of us will. Because she's in really excellent condition health-wise. She's 82 years old. But you'd never know it. She doesn't really look that old, and she certainly moves like a much younger woman. So, I'm hoping she got lucky because the thing was, they were given 50, it was 50-50. All three of them, whether it be the Johnson & Johnson, I can't remember the other two names now, but they have half the doses were fake, and the other half were real. Because remember, most of the testing was actually on the people who got it, because they didn't thoroughly test it. So they had to have what they call it, the fake one, I can't think of the damn word now, but the placebo. The placebo was saline. So if you got the saline jab, then it was no big deal. But nobody knew who got what. And I'm not even sure the people who gave it to you even knew whether it was the real one or the placebo. So it was a crapshoot, so I had one friend, she actually died from showstopper. I don't know if she got the jab or not, because I kind of fell out of touch with her, but my wife says, there was a thing on Facebook that said she passed, and holy shit, really? She's my age, which one of those, she would have been what? 57 or no? She'd have been like, what, 61, 62, somewhere around there. Perfect health, you know. And you know, 1 minute you're here, 1 minute you're gone. Crazy. Joe says, if I put a fork in a steak, it better move. Now, some meat I like very rare. But like I said, it depends on what I'm eating, you know. Like a good filet mignon, it should be on the rare end. Even actually a New York strip should be on the rare end too. So, yeah, see Andy same way, super rare. I like a little blood with my meat, you know. Right, so when it came out with the Omicron variant, respelled as moronic. No, yeah, I guess it would be. Oh, it's bad. Well, yeah, look. Yeah, that's it, Andy. Pfizer and Moderna. I couldn't remember who they were. You know, the thing is, it's supposed to take, was it 10 years to test a vaccine? And they did it in, what, 3 months? Yeah. And I actually think that there's more to it than that because, and how long have they been trying to cure cancer? What, almost 75 years now? 80 years? And they're not much closer today than they were 80 years ago. But we've got a deadly virus running around, and boom, 3 months, we got the cure. Yeah, sure you do, you know. That's what I'm saying. There's something going on with that whole thing, too. But Joe said that 2 friends died from it, all had the jab. Yeah. That's probably what got them, you know. Unless, like I said, the only way you would know for sure is if somebody got the seasonal flu and they survived it without being hospitalized. Chances are they would survive the showstopper. But, you know, if they got deathly ill, I mean seriously deathly ill, from the seasonal flu, there's a good probability that the showstopper could have got them as well. You know, I don't know. It would be tough to prove. I know the young people, you know, people like in their early 20s down to teens, they get the jab, they get that myocarditis, which is inflammation of the heart muscle. And it could kill you, and it's permanent. And I tell you what, if I were young and got that, I'd be suing somebody or killing somebody, one or the other, you know. Because that's bullshit that, you know. And they obviously didn't test it, because if they did, unless that was the plan, some say it's actually designed to depopulate. You know, and that's the problem, because, you know, Bill Gates was in on this too. And Bill Gates was actually quoted as saying a number of years ago that the easiest way to control the population is through vaccines. Basically, he was talking about murdering people with a vax. So, you know, you can take it for what it's worth. But I'll take my, you know, I was a teenager. I was 15 or 16, I don't remember. It was only like a Spanish flu. It was a variant of it. A lot of people died from it. I got that flu. I didn't know what it was when I got it. And when I was young like that, if I got sick, I'd go to the store, I'd buy a case of beer, and get drunk. It was the only time I ever did get drunk. And I'd pass out, and the next morning I'd wake up and I'd be fine. Is it in my head? Maybe it was power of suggestion. Maybe it was the alcohol. I don't know. And I didn't have to do it often because I usually didn't get sick, but I remember being up most of the night, and I was delusional. I was weird. There was a lot of weird stuff was going on. I swore I was speaking a different couple of languages, and I wouldn't understood what I was saying, which I know no other languages other than English. You know, I was talking to people in the room. There was nobody there. You know, I was completely delusional. And this flu was really bad. You know, I didn't find out until about a week later that this flu was running around, and most of the people that got it died. You know, but I didn't, so I just figured it wasn't my time yet. And like I said, you know, back in those days, you didn't go to the doctor unless you were pretty sure you were dying, you know. I had chronic ear infections when I was young, and it was so bad one time. I mean, I get real angry when I'm in severe pain. You know, and it's not intentional. It's just I don't know what causes it, but I want to hurt things or people or whatever. You know. So I actually checked in the emergency room. I said, "Look, I'm in so much pain. It's my ear. I have a bad infection. You got to give me something to kill the pain." So the doctor looks in my ear, and of course he looked at my mouth, and I've always had problems with my teeth. And no, I don't do drugs, crack, or any of that shit. But I have a congenital issue with my teeth, which runs in my whole family. My mother had it. I got it from her. My sister and brother have it. And most of them, like my sister, I think she's got a couple of false teeth already, and she had the screw-ins put in. And I think one of my family members already got false teeth at a young age. Their teeth just fall out, they just break. But anyway, he looked at my mouth and he says, "Well, you don't take very good care of yourself." I said, "Doc, I don't have a lot of money." I said, "Dentists are very expensive. I can't afford one. And I have a congenital problem here that they can't really fix. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for my ears. You know. Well, I'm going to give you an antibiotic, but I'm not giving you any painkillers." "Why not?" "Because I don't think you take good care of yourself." I wanted to beat the hell out of that son of a bitch, let me tell you. I had to go to another doctor to get painkillers. I still took the antibiotics, which I always kept on hand after that anyway, but what the hell's wrong with these people, you know? It really pissed me off. Tom says the only permanent thing is death. Yes, well, possibly. At least as far as we know, anyway. Ray says, "Same here, Joe. Rare to medium rare at the most for me. Moo." Yeah, there you go. That's what it tastes, but it's much more tender, too, you know. If you overcook some meats, it gets rubbery. Nobody likes rubber meat. And they still will not tell us what all the something. Of course they won't, because they can't tell you. The only thing they can tell you, well, if you take this jab, you may die. You know? And you ever watch some of the commercials on TV for selling drugs for other things, you know? They'll say, like, I can't remember, there's one there, I can't remember what it was. I think it was for mental problems or whatever, but, you know. And they start reading off the side effects, you know. Heart attack, strokes, sudden collapse, possible death, you know. And then after they get you telling you all these but talk to your doctor and see if the benefits outweigh the risk. What the hell outweighs death? You know, I mean, once you're dead, it's game over. You know, I tend to stay away from drugs that death is one of the side effects. You know. All right, Andy, we'll see you, man. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good weekend. It's true, you know. And you'd think by now they would find a way to do this stuff without killing you. Yeah. But if you ever looked at what they actually put in some of these vaccines, when my youngest, the last couple of shots he needed, that was about the time I started reading about all these vaccines. And unfortunately, my oldest, he's trans now, but he was also on Adderall, which I didn't know about. His mother allowed the school to force him to take it. He was on it for a year before I found out and took him off it, but the damage was already done. So he's not really retarded, but it messed him up royal. Like I said, he thinks he's a girl. He hasn't transitioned or anything yet, but, he's very confused. And he's what, 20, no, he's almost 30 now, I think. So he was born in 1990. But, what was my point again? Oh, yeah, so anyway, when I brought him down here, because he was having problems up in North Carolina with the schools up there, because he wasn't getting along with the natives, if you know what I mean. So I enrolled him and tried to enroll school, so he still needs 2 shots. Oh, okay, so I took him down in the clinic to get him his 2 shots, and I asked the the nurse, I said, well, I only have one question. I says, is there any, what's in this shot? Is there any of that mercury? Well, they have a different name for it, but, they're using that for suspension. Oh, no, we don't use that anymore. I said, okay, that's cool. I said, so you can give him the shot, but if anything happens to him, I will make sure that it happens to you. She's like, excuse me? I says, if he dies or gets messed up, I'm going to make sure you get the same treatment. Because you told me this is a safe vaccine. I'm going to take you at your word. But if it turns out it's not safe and he gets damaged by it, you may have to lose your life over it. And she looked at me and said, well, maybe he doesn't really need the vaccine. Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. They gave me an exemption. Swear to God, So, yeah, but that's the truth. They'll say, oh, it's completely safe until you put their life up against it. And that was the whole problem. Don't forget anal leakage. That would be bad. But it's true, though. They're lying. And they still use the mercury as a suspension in most of the jabs. I don't know about the showstopper jab, but most of your child scissors, like the, what do they call it, the rubella, or whatever, rubella and measles, MMR. The MMR shot, which is measles, rubella, and something else, that has the mercury suspension in it. Okay, and if they take it in, they're lying. And like I said, all right, well, if you're willing to back your life up with this, then go ahead and give them the shot. They didn't want to give them the shot because they knew damn good and well there was a possibility, even if it was slim, that it could hurt him, either mentally or physically or both, or even kill him. And I think if more parents did that, they could get exemptions for their kids because none of those things actually do anything, And it's not just for the people either. My dog Turbo, German Shepherd mix, German Shepherd Husky, or German Shepherd Chow, excuse me. He was he was pretty decent, but he didn't really like kids because kids kids like to abuse dogs sometimes. So my grandson and granddaughter was playing with him one day, and he bit one. Not real bad, Still took the kid to the hospital. You got to get some stitches. It bit him in the face, But nothing too terrible. I felt bad about it. So of course, when you go to the hospital and report a dog bite, they immediately call animal control. Animal control calls me up. They says, well, we're going to send someone over to talk to you about your dog. All right, no problem. The woman comes over. I already had all his papers ready. He had his shots and everything else. He had his rabies shot. He's all up to date. Says, well, he got nothing to worry about because he's had his shots and everything's good. I just have to be more careful with him around children. Well, no, sir, you're still going to have to put him on house arrest for 2 weeks. I said, but why? Well, the rabies shot doesn't always prevent rabies. Then why do we give him the shot? Well, because it's the law. Yeah, but why do we give him the shot? She goes, did you not understand? I said, no, I didn't. The law don't mean shit to me. If it doesn't work, then we shouldn't be giving it to him. She goes, well, the thing is, it doesn't always work with most dogs. But the law says you have to have it. I got him the 3-year shots. Toward the end, I stopped giving him the shots because he never left the house anyway, except to go outside and do his business. So there's no reason to give him all these shots, But it really pissed me off because I'm thinking, so I spend $30-some, every 3 years to get my dog a shot to keep him, and if he does bite someone, safe. But now you're telling me it doesn't actually work? And I'm thinking, well, if it don't work on my dog, then the other vaccines may not work on my kids, And Now, when I was a kid, I don't even remember getting 2 or 3 shots. I still have the scar from the one I know all you older guys have it. It was a multiple needle thing that leaves a weird scar on you. I think that was, I don't know if that was for polio. It might have been. Of course, polio was already long gone. You know, because I was born in '59. But I got that. I stepped on a nail when I was like 4 years old. I stepped on a nail in my heel. Went in that deep. It didn't hurt going in so much as it did coming out. But they gave me a tetanus shot for that, and I had a reaction to it. So I'm technically allergic to tetanus. I haven't had one since. But, you know, there was maybe 1 or 2 other shots that I got probably as a baby. But today they give the kids something like, no, it's 30 or 60, a shitload of shots. And they don't give them like over the course of time. They'll give you 10 or 15 of them at a time the same day. That can't be good, you know. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I think there's some things that we should use better judgment on. Ray said let me highlight that. The dot shot on the shoulder, yeah, we all have it. If you were born, I think, before 65, you probably got it. I still have the scar from it. Obviously, you do too. I don't remember what I thought it was for polio, but I'm not 100% sure. It's more than likely, like me, you got the mumps, you got the measles, you got the chicken pox. I had all that stuff. You know, I remember when I got the chicken pox, my mother invited everybody on the street that had kids to come over and hang out with me so they can get them and be done with it. I think the same happened with the measles, too. And to my knowledge, nobody ever died from any of those diseases. But you listen to these idiots today. Oh, if you get the measles, you could die. If you get chicken pox, you could die. Well, we didn't die then. Why would you die now? You know? Joe said, yeah, it was from polio. I thought it was. I wasn't sure. Ray said it was a combo shot. Yeah, I think it was. He said there was like 5 needle marks. I'd have to see a mirror to see it, but it's still there. Yeah. But, and the funny thing about polio is, by the time they came up with a vaccine, polio was already fading out. It ran its course. And the first shots they gave for polio actually caused polio. You can read about that. It's actually in the history books, because I actually researched it some time back. And they gave something like 10,000 people, or kids, actually got polio from the injection. And then they had to change it real quick so that it wouldn't give you polio after that. Because usually that's what they do. They give you a weakened, supposedly dead strain of what it is they're trying to prevent so your body could build natural antibodies to it. The problem is, my research shows that you can't take a vaccine through your blood to build up antibodies. You have to inhale it. You have to breathe it in. That's why they were trying to make an inhaler for a flu vaccine way back some years ago. They never figured it out, but it probably would have worked if they could have pulled it off. It was like just an inhaler. You'd pump a couple of mist up your nose, you breathe it, and your body would, apparently through your lungs, would help create antibodies for that particular flu. But that's my understanding of it, so. Oh, Derek, he says, the difference is that those shots were the dead virus, not a shot made in the lab to give you the antibody. That's true. Like I said, there are differences the way they're doing it today. So, it's funny, I just looked and yes, it's still there. Oh yeah, it's there. You will have it for the rest of your life. It doesn't go away. I remember getting it. I think it was 6, maybe 7 years old. I don't remember exactly. But I remember getting it because it hurt like the dickens. you know, oh, what the hell, you know? I didn't say that because I was a kid, but, you know, if I could have said that, that's what I would have said, you know. Um, yeah, I'm funny about stuff I put in my, that's why I could never be a junkie, you know. There ain't no way I'm shooting anything into my veins. I had a guy, he was my tenant, actually. Well, my dad's tenant, technically, but we became friends. He was a few years older than me. And he was married to a woman who was a true nymphomaniac. I ain't kidding you. She wanted it about every 20 or so minutes. And he couldn't keep up with her, you know. He was begging all of us to do his wife because I couldn't because I was married. My wife would have had a cow, you know. Otherwise I would have because she was pretty cute, you know, blonde. But she constantly dragging him in the bedroom, you know. So he started doing heroin to kind of, you know, help him keep awake and keep up with her. So he became a junkie, you know, but he got so bad he couldn't shoot himself up. So I was doing it for him, you know. He kind of said, man, can you put the needle on my arm and pump this stuff in me? I said, dude, you really want me to do that? He said, I can't do it myself. I'm too shaky, you know. All right, well, so I learned how to do it, and I was, you know, juicing him whenever he needed it. He eventually left her because he couldn't deal with it anymore. I felt bad for her, but I felt even more bad for him. Anyway, he went up to Chicago. Guess he was trying to score some heroin up there, and somebody put one between his eyes, and that was the end of that. So, I said, yep, somewhere around, yeah, it was nice. I was 5, 6, somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly, but I remember it hurting when I got it. So, you know. But like I said, I see guys do this stuff, and I'm thinking, are you stupid? You know, what are you thinking? And you really don't know what it's going to do to you long term, you know. Well, we know when we see it, but I don't think they see it, you know. It's just such a waste, man. But it is what it is. I met some very colorful people in my life, let me tell you. Crazy stuff. Anyway, I feel bad though that Art passed away like that. He was a great guy. I liked him. I never met him in person, but we have communicated, you know, through the email and stuff. Yeah, I guess it'll happen to all of us eventually. Hopefully later and sooner, right? I don't know how old he was. I know he was older than I am. He was probably in his late 70s, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. Sucks. Hey, Steve 87, how you doing? Hello, Jim. Is it Thursday? No, it's Friday. Yeah. Day late and a dollar short. Now I'm actually testing. I updated the OBS, trying the beta version. It seems to be working. And I'm also using a slightly different variation of the Twidget, which is the chat engine that I use. And I'm hoping that I can continue doing this. And it doesn't lock up on me probably soon if it's going to. I'm hoping it won't. Turns out, Thomas, I don't know if you're still in here. Tom Grassi, I was using version 27. I thought I was using 29, but I was actually still on 27. And I did do some reading, and 27 did have some bugs in it on the OBS. So it may not want to. It just probably just didn't play nice with the Twidget. I don't know. It's a little strange, but we'll see. So, like I said, for all you guys that are curious, yes, I was on StreamYard last night, and I think 1 week out of the month I'm going to use StreamYard. and I will have guest appearances on that night. I don't know which week it'll be yet. I'll probably pick like either third or fourth week of the month. I'm not sure. Invite guests in, and we'll do what we did last night. We had a lot of fun last night, so um, I got to do that again because that's the one problem with OBS. There's no easy way to invite a guest in on this. It can be done. There's a third-party extension that you can integrate, but understand it's a real nuisance to use, and I'm just getting too old for nuisances. So I'm just going to stick with easy stuff. Now, I'm thinking maybe next year, well, maybe 6 months or so after I pay the property taxes, I might switch over to vMix, which is what Tom uses with Tom's Changing Things. It's a great program, but the problem is, well, it's not really a problem, but it's $350 for a lifetime license for the Pro Series, which I would have to go with at least that because the starter one is worthless, and it's a lot cheaper. I think it's $60 a year, but if you're gonna do it, might as well do it right. All right, Tom. Good to know you're on that. You're here, but in the train room. Cool. So that's my plan. I think eventually I'm going to go to that. Just unless they fix OBS. Now they may put a chat program in OBS that does what I want it to do. They may even have a guest feature on there. If they do that, I'll stay with the OBS. I would even pay for OBS if they did that. But as it is now, I want more features than I'm getting. So the vMix seems like it's. I mean, if you look at most of you guys have been on Tom's show on Monday and Wednesday now, and he's got a damn nice setup. I mean, I've been over to his house. He's running multiple monitors and stuff, but I'm not going to do that. But the vMix really makes a big deal, and he uses Stream Deck too. So, but everything is already built into it. Now, he doesn't utilize a lot of its benefits because he doesn't take guests. He doesn't really. You see, he does the on-screen chat overlays. So, but it does have the capability of bringing in guests. I think a lot like StreamYard does. So we'll see. Ray says, when I got my accident in April, the nurse kept sticking me looking for a vein. I finally told them it's right there, but then also had to show them how to put on an arm sling while the doctor. Yeah, I've been there and done that. Believe me. I have a rule: you get 2 attempts to put the needle in the IV, then I do it. And more times than not, I have inserted my own IVs in the emergency room. My veins are very easy to find. The ones in the hand, the one in the arm don't matter. They're very big. They're easy to get to. They don't really roll out from under the needle. And then basically these doctors or nurses or whatever, they just don't have the experience to do it right. Some of them, I had one kept poking me, and it's like, give me that damn thing. And she's like, well, what are you going to do? I said, that's what I'm going to do. Why couldn't you do this? Well, you can't do that. Well, don't look now, but I just did. Go back to nursing school and learn how to do this right the first time. And you're lucky I won't tell on you. We'll keep it between us. And that's the end of it, So she's like, well, okay, But you're not supposed to do that. There's a lot of things I'm not supposed to do, but I do it anyway, And Ray goes, oh, the doc kept asking me if I wanted painkillers. I said, no, I just want. That sounds like something I would say. My first heart attack, because I'm diabetic, I don't feel the pain in my chest. I feel it down in my gut. And I thought I had, like, some gut problem going on there, like I was cramping up real bad. I was in agony, man. And I finally told my wife, I got to go to the ER, this is not good. So I get down there and they say, well, you're having a massive heart attack. I'm going, huh? I said, I don't have no chest pains. He said, well, you're diabetic, right? I said, yeah. He said, well, diabetics don't get traditional symptoms from a heart attack that non-diabetics do. I said, oh, I didn't know that. So I said, well, now, he said, well, we're going to have to do surgery. Like, I don't want no surgery. I thought they were going to open me up, and they go in through your leg and they use they catheterize you. And I didn't know that. And I'm thinking, I don't want you to open me up. I was scared shitless, man. I'm not afraid to die. I just don't like the idea of somebody digging around in my body. And he said, well, if you don't do something, you're going to die. I go, okay, well, what exactly kind of surgery? He said, well, we go in through your leg, your thigh, and we fish the line up in there and we clean out the arteries and we put a metal stent in. It's like a spring. Oh, yeah, okay, go ahead and do that. So, so then he comes in and gives me a shot. He says, I can't remember what it was now. He says, this may make you dizzy. I said, that may be a problem. He said, you got anything to counter the dizziness? Because me and dizzy don't get along real well. So they gave me another shot to, I think, what the hell is the painkiller now, but I can't remember what the hell it was called, but one of the big side effects, it'll give you the spins. Me and the spins don't get along. They gave me that. Next thing I remember, I remember them loading me into the ambulance because they had to move me to the big hospital because I was in the secondary hospital. I woke up on the table. I felt the thing actually inside me. And I'm like, I'm awake. Am I supposed to be awake? Yeah, we want you to be awake. It's okay. Don't freak out. All right, as long as I'm supposed to be awake, because And I remember they had the first time they started doing it, they would put this, it was like a 40-pound bag of sand on your legs. I guess it was to keep it from bleeding out, or I don't know, but I remember it was really uncomfortable having all that weight on my legs. But it was sort of in and out of consciousness the whole thing while they were putting in the stents. And finally, I think I went under again, I think. I don't remember. And I woke up in the bed and everything was done. And when I woke up, I couldn't stop coughing. And they kept yelling at me, sir, you can't cough. If you open up that valve in your leg, you'll bleed out. And I'm going, well, what the hell are you letting me cough for? It was screwed up. It was weird. But ever since then, I really haven't had a problem. I've been put under. I had 2 heart attacks. I had the ablation surgery done for what do they call that? Shit, where your heart beats too fast. So I had that done. A lot of times now I've been knocked out. I don't really like it, but it's not as bad as I initially thought. Because prior to my first heart attack, I've never been knocked out. When I go to dentist offices, I did go a few times. You want us to put you out? No, I'll stay awake. Because I was worried. Well, if you put me under, I may not get back up. All right, Joe. Well, thanks for coming in, man. We'll see you later. Have a good and safe weekend, man. Don't forget to play with the trains. Ray says, so remind Jim, that's what pissed me off. Yeah, I hear you, man. It's just, well, like I said, I'm not a very trusting person. You get in the car with me, you better trust my driving because I'm not as bad with a person in the car. When I'm alone, I would scare the shit out of anybody. I'm a good driver, but I'm an aggressive driver. I mean, I don't cut people off or anything, but I want to get where I'm going, and I like getting there a little quicker than most. If you drive like that and I'm in the car and I don't know you that well, I'm getting out of the fucking car. I don't trust other people. That's why I don't like flying in an airplane. I've flown planes personally, small aircraft, a couple of them, and it wasn't that big of a deal. I enjoyed it, but I've also been in a commercial airline, actually only twice my entire life. I was 10 years old when we came down here, came to Florida for vacation, 1967. We flew from Kennedy Airport in New York to Miami Airport in Miami. So I didn't really like it because I don't trust the pilots. Yeah. When I hear stories where two planes collided midair, I'm thinking, okay, somebody wasn't looking out the damn window. You know, I just don't trust people. I know the pilots are up there, you know, playing footsie with the stewardesses and stuff. Hey, you want to do that? You do that on your time, not on mine. You know, I don't care, but fly the damn plane. So I don't trust the pilot, and that's the problem. It's not that I'm really afraid of flying per se. I just don't trust the idiots that are flying the aircraft. Hey, Dave BNSFN Scale, how you doing? Is watching Badgers Purdue game, long shot of stadium at the beginning. There was a triple crown train going by. Oh, cool. All right, James, we'll see you later, man. Thanks for hanging out. And, be sure to check out your video later on and have a good and safe weekend. And, don't do anything I wouldn't do, which pretty much leaves you wide open. Does anybody know if Vinny was on tonight? I usually watch his show, and I'm looking at 8:30. Actually, almost 8:40. I don't know. I know he wasn't on last week. Yeah, you guys, he gets on whenever he wants, but I'll just have to catch the replay if he did show tonight. So if you hear me, Vinny, I'm sorry I didn't catch her live. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It is what it is. I got my damn electric bill yesterday. Last month it was $424. Now, before you go freaking out, keep in mind I have a 3,100 square foot house with a big 4-ton air conditioner in it that runs all the time. I have a 450 square foot guest house with a mini split in there that once again runs 24/7. I have my train shed, which is I think almost 600 square foot, which has a mini split that runs all day anyway. Number of TVs, well, yeah, basically TVs. Some use a computer monitor, others are actually TVs. We have a deep freezer in the garage. We have a big refrigerator in the kitchen. I have a mini fridge in my wife's spare room that she keeps for her stuff. Some of her stuff that she doesn't want to get in the fridge in case I might eat it, I don't know, not true, but of course my mother-in-law has a full-size fridge in the guest house. I have a mini fridge in here. All right. Of course, we have all LED lighting throughout all three of the places. That helps. But it's mostly the big air conditioner in the big house that runs up the electrical switch during the summer. So anyway, I figured this month it'd be a little less because we weren't really cranking the AC in the house down as those were the month before. Well, it's $421 this month. I'm hoping it'll be a little cheaper next month because it should start cooling off. And usually during the winter, we don't even run the air. We'll open the windows, and if we need heat, we'll throw some wood in the fireplace, and that does the trick. I don't run the central heat. I'll run the heat here, but it's these mini splits. They're heat pumps, so they're real cheap to run. But Dave said I didn't see any notice. I think they raised the price of electric, to be honest with you. It's still not that bad. When I lived in Naples, we had a similar setup. I had the main house, which was 900 square foot, part I lived in, and the back section of the house, which I was renting out as a mother-in-law apartment. My mother-in-law didn't live there, but that was 1,100 square foot. So the whole house was almost right around 2,100. Excuse me, right around 2,100 square foot. Two air conditioners, two stoves, you know, all electric. We didn't have any gas stuff down there. So two electric stoves, washing machine and dryer, of course, just in the front apartment, but we gave access to that to my tenant. So, you know, of course, I had a massive tankless water heater that powered both sides of the house. A shitload of TV screen monitors and computers, you know, because I had my main computer and monitor. We had the 40-inch. Actually, this was the main TV in the house when we're actually using it for a TV, the 40-inch Vizio. And my tenant, she had a 50, a 55, and a 36 in her house. You know, the 36 was on the computer. The other two are actually TVs. And there were some months that it got up over $500. The electric, you know. I mean, she paid me a lot of money in rent, so I didn't really care, you know. And plus, my air conditioner was really old, the central unit, and it was costing more than it should have. I just didn't have the money to replace it. So I kept running it until it finally quit. And I put a whole bunch of window shakers, you know, 3 window shakers in all 3 of the bedrooms, and a wall shaker in the living room, and that kept the house cool. And believe it or not, it was actually cheaper to do that than it was to run the central. So I'm not a stranger to big electric bills, but it does hurt a little bit. Ray says, I broke one of my arms in a bad way. They had to put a plate. Oh man, that's bad. Asked whether I wanted the local or general. So local, I got to watch them do the processes, knock my ass out. See, I'd be okay with that. Because I've opened myself up. I was doing something. I was hitting the chisel with the hammer, and a part of the chisel broke off and actually shot me in the arm, and it went down almost a half an inch. I wasn't going to the damn hospital for that, so I got the X-Acto knife, sterilized it, opened it up, got in there with a pair of tweezers, and pulled it out, cleaned it, and that's what I did. When I cut my finger off, same deal. I took this much of my finger off. Oh, you see that right there? It was hanging by a thread. I put it back on myself, you know. I had to clean it up because I was working in grease, gasoline, diesel. I had everything on me. You know. That doesn't bother me too much. I've seen some things probably that some people should never see, as far as, you know, I've seen accidents where intestines were hanging out, legs were cut off. It doesn't, I mean, it's disturbing, but I wasn't too freaked out by it, you know. So, yeah, that doesn't bother me too much. If they had to open me up, like arm or leg or something, I could probably deal with that. My chest, no, I don't think anybody can deal with that, but, you know, I don't want to see my organs. Hey, Curtis, how's it going? Why a test? Well, actually on OBS tonight. It's the newest version. It's a beta copy, actually. It's the version 30. And a slightly different version of the widget for the chat that brings this thing up on the screen like you see. And I'm seeing if it's going to hold up and if it solves the problem. I'm hoping it does. If it does, then I'm going to stick with this. But as I told the other guys, I'm going to pick 1 week out of the month. I'm not sure it's going to be the 3rd week or the 4th week. And I'm going to do a live stream on StreamYard and bring on guests. But only once a month. And that would be easier to do that on StreamYard than it is on OBS. But I still prefer the OBS, but I can't do guests on this. So for the time being, I'm going to try and stick with the OBS as long as I can. At some point, I'm going to go to VMix that Tom uses, Tom's Trains and Things. You got to pay for that, though. It's $350 for a lifetime license, which isn't bad, really, but I can't afford that right now. Otherwise, I would just buy it and be done with it. But I'm thinking maybe a few months after I pay my property taxes, early next year, I'm going to go ahead and get it and start using it, unless they fix OBS by then and integrate the chat and the guest feature into OBS. If they do that, I'll stay with the OBS. Otherwise, I'll go to VMix. I got that already. Tom says, oh, just pissing me right off there, Tom. Making me jealous. My electric bill was $3.25. Well, you got solar backup, man. If I had that, mine probably would be too, but the problem is I don't really want solar cells on my roof, to be honest. I have a metal roof, but, you know, that means you'd have to put holes in the roof. Don't like that idea too much. I would like to, if I could have an array, say, out my back line and just run the wires, you know, to the converters and stuff, it would be near the house. Same thing, I don't want the battery packs on the house either. But don't you have the, probably like a Tesla pack that hangs on the side of your house? I don't want that. I mean, I like the idea, but I don't want it on the side of my house. I live in a wood frame house. Something goes wrong, I lose my house. So I'd want those things away from the house, you know. Now, if they could do that at a reasonable price, I would probably consider it. But, Dave, it's Friday. Guess he's going all week. I don't know. I hope not. This is just a general test. And hopefully that'll take care of everything. But, yeah, right? Have to change the name from Cast to Shortline, whatever. Everybody's a smart ass. You gotta love it. Jim is going for a 7-day test stream. There you go. Close to it. Tom says, question to all. Anyone ever see the unit that takes the dust out of a room? Looking for one. You mean like a central vacuum? That's the only thing that I can think of like that. I don't know how else you could do that. I mean, that would be a tough call. And Dave says, positive pressure sealed room. There you go. Or a clean room. Yeah, clean room. But, well, I think what he's saying is he had to cut a hole in the wall for what, your third level, Tom, I think you said? Third or second or third level. To run the track, I guess, into another room. So he used a Sawzall to cut through the drywall. You know, when you cut drywall, it makes a hell of a mess. So he's got a shitload of dust, drywall dust, all over the room. I don't really know how you can clean that up effectively, short of just vacuuming where you can and using a damp rag wherever the vacuum doesn't work. That'd be my only guess. Dave says maybe an ozone generator would help. I don't know, I don't know. Now I have the, well, a long time ago, it still works. It's an air purifier. It's just a small box with electrostatic filters on it that you clean. And it'll take all the pollutants out of there. And I think it might pick up dust too. It's sort of electrostatic, so, but it's also an ozone generator. So, but I paid a lot of money. I bought that thing like longer than that, almost 20 years ago. Paid $450 for it then. They probably have cheaper ones now, but I don't know if that would actually work or not. I mean, if you actually got drywall dust on your layout, you're going to have a tough time with that. You're literally going to have to. I had that problem at the old house. I made the mistake of cutting some drywall in the room. I got dust everywhere. So I vacuumed what I could, and what I couldn't, I took a damp rag and just started wiping stuff. And that was the only way I was able to more or less clean it up. But if anybody has another idea, by all means, throw it out there. Let's see. Steve says they have a dust collector at many of the woodworking stores like Rockler, Woodsmith, or Check. Yeah, that's true, they do. But most of that's for airborne dust, though, isn't it? So if it's already on stuff, that might be a little tougher. You can also try blowing it off, too. At the time, all I had was the canned air. And believe it or not, it worked. Now I've actually bought one of these, it's an air machine. You plug in the wall and it blows like 130 mile an hour wind. It'll take dust off of pretty much anything. I bought it to clean the computers and actually can even use it in the training room, but I got to be careful with it because it can actually damage stuff. Thomas Moore says Freight Car Friday is next Friday. I don't know anything about Freight Car Friday. Is that yours? Are you actually going to do one for real? If you do, when you do, I'll put you back on the list, but not until then. And that's true too, Steve. He says, "Hey, Dave, you know what they say when you retire? You have no idea what day it is." And I wouldn't either, except that, I have to take medication every day. I have one of those pill organizers. So, first thing in the morning, I got to take my pills. Oh, okay, today's Tuesday. Other than that, I probably wouldn't know what day it was. But that really does help a lot. Thomas says, Shortline weekdays. There you go. Well, if this works today, I won't be doing any more testing. I will simply wait till Thursday and just do the regular show. Dave says, no, from experience, I have to look at my clock every day to remind. Yeah, there you go. That's true, though. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying, Tom, a room air purifier. I have one. They're cheaper now than they were when I bought mine. A friend of mine was selling them for somebody he knew. They were very expensive. It's just a small box, And I bought extra plates for it. It's got glass plates in the back, and they have some sort of a filter, and it uses electrostatic charge. And it does create ozone, so it is an actual ozone generator. But it does purify the air. And if you put it was good for the whole house at the time, 1,000 square foot, back in Naples. And I had it in a corner of the living room, and it ran 24/7. Now keep in mind, me and my wife, we smoked cigarettes at the time. People would walk in the house and they'd see us smoking, they're going, I don't smell any tobacco. Well, that's because of the filter. And that filter actually took all the nicotine smells out of the house. Nobody knew we were smokers in the house. So those things really do work. I still have it. Like I said, I've had it for about over 20 years now. They've got new ones. I've got another one in the bedroom. It's more modern. It's a tall one. I think I only paid like $100 for it. I don't remember where we got it from, but it might have been Amazon for all I know. And it's an air purifier, and has when you get one, if you buy one, make sure you can clean the filter. If you have to replace the filter, run away from it, because the filters are expensive as shit for the replaceable ones. And depending on your environment, they may not last too long. So the one you can clean, like I said, you take this one out, you can run water through it, dry it off, put it back in the machine, and it's good to go. And so I was real happy with it. And I got a sneeze coming, maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, if you're going to get one, any brand will work, I think. There's so many different brands. Don't buy one that's too cheap, but don't buy a real expensive one either, because, you're just throwing your money away. Thomas says, if you make a huge HO train layout, you're going to need a rectifier to keep the track power. I'm not sure what your reference is to that. The only place I use a rectifier is for the LED lighting. because LEDs run on DC power, and both DC transformers and DCC decoders run on AC power. So you need to convert the AC to DC to power the LED, so you need a rectifier for it. But it doesn't really have anything to do with the size of your layout, whether you're running a 4-foot oval or a 50-foot massive layout. You still have to use the same rectifier for any lighting you have on board your train cars. If that's what you're talking about, then yes, that's the way that works. Dave says, drywall dust, yes it is. It's a bear to get rid of. I hate it. I will never do it again. And I damn sure won't do it in here either, because all my walls are drywall. I initially wanted to put 1/4-inch plywood up, but that was when all the plywood prices went through the roof. They wanted like $60 for a sheet of 1/4-inch plywood. You know, sanded on one side, and I'm going, I don't think so. I mean, I don't remember. I got like 30 sheets of drywall in here, so I would have needed 30 sheets of plywood, 4x8 sheets. That would have cost me a fortune. But I would have rather kind of really had the wood. Although, realistic, even though I have insulation, thick insulation on the walls, the drywall is a better insulator than the wood is. So, it all worked out in the end anyway. Tom says, it took me 3 days to clean my helix. I finished that today, all clean now. Yeah, I imagine it did. Now, like I said, hopefully, you know, in the future, if you want to cut drywall, use a drywall knife. It doesn't create as much dust. You know, well, actually, I would have cut the drywall with a knife, you know, a good razor knife, and then took the Sawzall and cut through the wood. You know, and stayed as far away from the drywall as you could. It would have cut down the dust a lot. He said, I'm looking to keep regular dust. Well, that's true too. That's why I said those filters are good. They do the job. And you know, you also have a dog like I do. I have multiple dogs and cats and rabbits and birds and all that shit. But any odors you would get from an animal, it takes those odors right out of the house. You know, you probably wouldn't notice because they say when you're with an animal for any length of time, you don't smell them anymore. You know, if I walked in your house, well, I wouldn't smell it, but if my wife walked into your house, she would probably smell barley. You know, because she has really sensitive nose. I don't. Yeah, because she goes into our house. You know, like I said, we have 3 dogs, two cats, and 2 birds, and 2 rabbits. Rabbits from cages over the birds. But the dogs and cats run around the house. She's walking out. She says, man, it smells like animals in here. I'm walking out. I don't smell nothing. You know. And so she's embarrassed to let anybody in the house. So, you know, I would invite people like my next door neighbor, Randy. I give him eggs a lot because we have so many of them. And I said, Randy, come on in. We'll get you some eggs, you know. And why the hell did you let him in the house? He's not going to like them. You know, it smells nice. Yeah. You have a hypersensitive nose, sense of smell. Nobody else does. He says, if he has a problem with it, he won't come back. Well, he's not had a problem with it. Hasn't said anything. Still comes in the house. So I don't think he smells anything either. It's kind of weird, you know. Yes, definitely. You want to keep the vacuum because the vacuums don't really filter drywall dust too well. It'll blow out the exhaust port. Now I found that out the hard way too. We were doing some work, not in this house, in the old house. So let me get the vacuum and vacuum up all that drywall dust. I think I was putting a wall up. And all she was doing was throwing the dust all over the room. That ain't gonna work. You're better off getting a damp mop, you know, and swabbing the floor and the tables and all that shit. That's what you wound up doing. All right, Derek, we'll see you later. Have a good weekend. Be safe. And don't forget to play with your trains, man. We'll see you, man. Ray wants to know if you're looking for an air purifier or dust removal system, or maybe a combo of both. Well, both would be the way to go. You know, some do, some. That just depends which one you get. Hey, Happy Valley. Shit, Edward. That's right. I had to think about your name for a minute, but I remembered it. Edward, how you doing? Good to see you. That's all right. Just popping in to say hi. That's cool. Hope you're doing okay. Dave says the ozone will help the subtle particles out. Is that how it works? I don't know. That's pretty cool, though. You know what else produces ozone, too? It's a copy machine. My Xerox copier in the house is right on the instruction sheet, produces ozone. You know, like, I don't know if that's like, it's not really a problem, but I guess for some reason they have to let you know that it does it. Thomas wants you to know if y'all are looking for a real BNSF railroad spike, they have a JHC on top for the designation. Good to know, Thomas. Thank you for that info. Ray says, glad to know Jim is fighting global warming by adding back to the ozone layer. That's another thing, too, right? I know you guys are going to hate me for this, but can't help it. The military and NASA releases more HFCs, or hydrofluorocarbons, in other words, Freon, which is supposed to be bad for the environment. They release more of that in a single launch of their missiles, rockets, and of course space rockets than the entire state of California releases in 10 years. And they're complaining about us putting the hole in the ozone layer. I think it's them that's causing it. They're just trying to throw it off on us. Edward, how much is a good purifier? Well, I'd say a minimum of $100 and a maximum of $350. I'd stay within that area. Probably more likely to go like $125 to $150, what I would pay. I paid $350 for my one I bought 20 years ago, but they were kind of new at the time, and yes, they were expensive. I don't even know if they make that one anymore, but we said we've got a newer one in the bedroom, and I think that was like $120. I think. I don't know if I got it from Amazon or maybe Mayfair. I'm not sure, but it works real good too, and it's a combination fan and purifier. You hit the button to turn the blue light on, that does the purification. You turn the light off, it works basically just as a fan. It's a nice unit. It's quiet, pretty much, and it does the job. Dave says, been seeing ads for a new air purifier developed for the military. Really? That'd be cool. As Steve said the same thing. That's why I use a knife to cut the drywall, not a sawzall. Yeah, you know, we've all done it. I learned from it, you know. Damn, $50 for a spike? The hell is it made out of? Gold? I don't know. Some things I think are a little overpriced on eBay. Well, I'm not surprised. Yeah, you know. You lost me. I'm still there. At least I'm showing it on my monitor anyway. Check your chat. I bet it. No, it didn't stop. It's working good here. See, Rick. Oh, hey, Rick. How you doing? He was the last one on here. I got behind in the thing here. Yeah, you're right, Edward. I'm about 5 minutes behind. I just jumped ahead. Rick says, just watched a cool thing go over my house. Watch the SpaceX satellites go over. Really? Should have got some video of that, man. Well, I guess it'd be night. It'd be hard to shoot video. I forgot it's already 9 o'clock. You know where the hell the time goes. You know, time flies when you're having fun. And the fact that this is still running is a very, very good sign. Because I've been on, so let's see, a little over 2 hours. That's not bad. So I might have fixed the problem here. I probably shouldn't have spoke too soon, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm still up and running, so maybe it's solved the problem. I can only hope, anyway. Rick said, "Yeah, it looked like a string of lights going over." Huh, that's pretty cool. Wasn't a meteor shower, was it? And are we supposed to get a meteor shower soon? I'm not sure when, but I know it's soon. It might be the beginnings of, was it the Perseids? I think it's about the right time of year for the Perseid meteor showers. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. I don't spend much time looking up like I used to back in the old days, you know. Kind of lost interest in the whole space thing. That's another story we won't get into here, but it's just called Starlink. Satellite train. I know there's a shitload. What has he got? Something like 5,000 of them up there already? Personally, I think that's what's causing all these climate problems. Not the satellites, but the rocket launches. You know. Nobody's even questioning it. I mean, we're literally sending a rocket, or say launching a rocket, almost once a week, sometimes even twice a week. We're launching rockets, the Japanese are launching rockets, the Chinese are launching rockets, the Russians are launching rockets, the European Union is launching rockets. Hell, India's launching rockets. You know. You even got Kim Jong-un, or whatever the hell his name is, in North Korea while he's launching missiles. But it's all the same, you know. You ever think about what kind of exhaust comes out of those rockets? And wonder if maybe that isn't screwing up the environment a little bit? Hey, Corey, how's it going? I mean, it could be. Nobody questions it, you know. And I think a lot of these weird climate patterns we've been having started right around the time that Musk started launching all these Starlink satellites into orbit. I don't think the satellites are a problem. I think the rockets bringing them up there are the problem. You know, rocket fuel is what? Benzene and nitrogen. There's all kinds of weird chemicals. I think mostly the benzene, but there's a lot of different chemicals in rocket fuel. And that's a lot of exhaust coming out of them rockets. Way worse than any factory or car is going to put out. And that's the only thing that's really changed, let's say, in the last couple of years. So if there's really climate change going on, which, once again, I have my doubts on. You know, actually my drop frame rate went down to 0. That's good. Still in the green. So there could be, that could be on your end too, Steve. I don't know. Here I'm showing pretty good, but we'll see. But thanks for that. Corey, if India launches rockets, who do they call for customer service when it drifts off course? They probably call themselves. Yeah, Edward said no buffering. That's good. I'm not showing it on this end here, so it could be on your guys' end. I don't know. I'm actually, everything's in the green and going good here so far. So, but yeah, I think all these rocket launches and the exhaust from the rockets, that could be screwing up the weather patterns. I could be wrong. I honestly don't know. I'm no expert on it. But it just seems to me like that's the only thing that's changed really in the last couple of years. Right about the time Musk started launching all his Starlink satellites. He's planning on putting, what do you say, 50,000 of them up there? I don't know how the hell he could put 50,000 of anything up there without them slamming each other, but, you know, he thinks he can, that's fine. I should probably not touch that one. Oh, we all got that problem too, you know. Some more than others. There you go, Rick. They call themselves and they can't understand what they're saying. I tell you, they probably get really mad at me because I honestly can't understand them. You know, I get a lot of bullshit calls. I think they're all scams anyway, but you know, they got, you know, is this the man in the house? Yeah. I would like to talk to you about, and they got that weird accent. I can't even duplicate it, but like, what the hell are you talking about? You know? And they're trying to repeat them, say, look, I can't understand what you're saying. First off, you're not speaking loud and clearly, and your accent is overloading your English. Could you put somebody who speaks good English on it? They get mad. Sir, I am speaking English, you know. And I'm like, no, you're not. You know, what the hell you're speaking? It ain't English, you know. And then they wind up hanging up. I think they're scam artists anyway, but, you know. But they're the only people I absolutely cannot understand. Uh-oh, see, I didn't mind stop them. Yeah, we got that. Hey, Corey, oh, Rick. Oh, no, well, we're still good. Doing good. I thought it locked up, but it didn't. Yay. Trains are more down to earth. I will stick with them. Yeah, here you go. Hey, I gotta agree with you there. Steve says actual climate change, new ice age, ozone hole, global warming, then climate change started happening when we started to have professional politicians' office. They never worked in that. Well, that's true too, but I mean, what they're telling us is all bullshit, you know. Remember what's his face, Al Gore? 15 years ago, he said in 5 years the Earth was going to end from, we were all going to die from extreme frost, from global cooling. Well, that didn't happen. And 5 years after that, we're all supposed to die from global heating. That didn't happen, you know. I mean, the guy's full of shit, you know. And all this stuff does, they try and use it to generate more new tax money, you know. Like I said, what Biden's doing with these, trying to ban gas stoves and conventional air conditioners. He wants everybody to get heat pumps, you know. Everything's got to be electric for one. He wants anything gas done away with. There's a reason why. And the last time you looked at your electric meter, what was it? It was a smart meter, wasn't it? You know they can control that from, it's a Wi-Fi meter. They can control that from another place. They can turn off your electric at will. They can restrict it. You know, some houses actually, one house I was renting, they had this device on the air conditioner that allowed FP&L, Florida Power and Light, to shut down my air conditioner at certain times of the day during the week. Well, I pulled that right the fuck off the wall. You know, it's like, I'm paying the bill. I'll control when it goes on and off, you know. So this is what they want. They want to be able to control every aspect of your life. That's why they want you to get an electric car. Because the thing about electric cars is, ask Tesla, they can be hacked so easily, and they can pretty much take control of the car, lock you out of the car, shut you down, probably tell the car to drive to a dealership if they want to repo it. You know, that's some scary shit, man. I don't want nothing to do with that, you know. I'll prefer my old-fashioned dumb car and my dumb gas stove and my dumb air conditioner. You know, I have a smart meter, but, you know, big deal. But I don't want anybody taking control of my stuff. And I'm telling you, that's why Biden is on this whole electric kick. Electric cars, electric appliances, they will have complete control. If you step out of line, well, we're just going to have to shut your stuff off until you get right with our plan here, you know. I'm not going there. Ray says, I answer a spam call once in a while just to see how long I can keep them on the line. I make them hang up on me. There's a psychological reason for that, all right? And many of them are aware. Most telemarketers are aware of it because they want you to hang up on them, so it gives them a win, a psychological win. I refuse to hang up on them. I think the longest I had some bill collector on the line was like 4 hours, a long time ago. You know, it got pretty ugly because this guy was supposedly from Texas. I kept saying, "Give me your address. I will get in the car right now. I will be there in 3 days, and I'm gonna kick the shit out of you." "I ain't telling you my address. You ain't man enough to come here anyway. Then tell me your address, and I'll prove you wrong." We went back and forth like that, literally for 4 hours. Calling each other assholes, motherfuckers, all kinds of shit. He finally hung up on me after 4 hours. He's saying, "When are you going to just give up and hang up?" I said, "I'm not going to." I said, "It's not costing me a dime to keep this line open. It's probably costing you money, though. So keep your shit up. Just give me your address. Let me jump in the car. I will come over there and kick the shit out of you." He finally hung up on me. But, sometimes you just got to do that, All right, Curtis, well, have a good one, man. Oh, by the way, before you go, Deb wants to know if you want another rooster. Apparently, we got one too many here, and they're starting to get a little loud, so she goes, "Ask Curtis if he wants another one." So think about it and let me know, okay? Either way, no big deal. Anyway, have a good weekend, and we'll catch up with you soon. Ray says, "The longest I got was 20 minutes for a home repair on a house I didn't own. They spent a whole day back and forth setting up an appointment, then called me 2 days later pissed saying I tried to scam them." Yeah, right? More like they tried to scam you and you got even with them. Tom says, "Spam calls, I asked them for their home number. I would call them back, the line goes dead and they hang up." Yeah, and they're all fake numbers anyway, because I've done that. Tried to call them back after they hung up on me just to fuck with them, I'll call them now. I had one I felt bad about it because I was in the wrong, but this guy called me up and gave me a bunch of shit, and I was like, "Fuck you, asshole," I don't have to listen to your shit, and he hung up on me. Well, I get upset when people hang up on me sometimes, so I'll fix this fucker. I dialed the number right, and I start, the person answered the phone. It wasn't even a guy. It sounded like a guy, but it wasn't. I started cussing this poor woman out, She's like, "Who the hell are you? And why are you yelling at me? Did you not just call me?" "I don't know who you are, sir." I go, "Oh, shit." I said, "I'm really sorry, ma'am. I just got a call. Your number was showing up on my, my phone. Somebody hijacked your number. I would suggest you call your phone company and report it. And please accept my apologies. I didn't mean to scream and yell at you or cuss you out. I thought you were the guy that basically just did that to me." She hung up on me, but most of the time, the numbers, they route false numbers. And like here, now, my old area code in Naples was 239. Here it's 863. I get a shitload of 239 designated numbers on my phone. I know they're scam calls because they always go with, they figure you'll pick up the phone if you think it's local, somebody you know. But see, everybody I know is in my phone book, so it'll come up with their name if they're legit. But a regular 239 number, I have no business with any 239 numbers down there. So if it doesn't come up with a name, I know it's a scam call. I still answer it every now and then, but hey, All right, Edward. Well, thanks a lot, man, and take care and have a good weekend, a safe weekend, and play with your trains, man. And thanks for stopping in. Corey says, "I like putting them on speakerphone and then telling them how the boys at work and the background are having relations with their callers." I've done stuff similar to that. I've gotten pretty damn down and dirty with some of these guys, And the funny thing is, the people from India, the only thing they know is cocksucker. As soon as you catch on, and you're a cocksucker. No, I'm not, but you seem to like that word, so maybe you are. you know. Are you sucking your dad's cock or what, you know? Oh, they get pissed off, you know. I'm going to fuck your sister. Yeah, go ahead. I said, my sister's married and you'd have to go through her husband first. He'd probably kill you, but go ahead and try, you know. They get all pissed off and hang up on me. Last they'll tell me, you're a cocksucker. Don't you people know any other cuss words, really? You know. It's fun. Yeah, you know. Tom says, oh, Tom's trained. Hey, Tom, how's it going? Yeah, it's Thursday again. Was it like the third one this week? I updated OBS. I'm at version 30 now. It's a beta version. So far, so good. I got a different version or kind of a different version of the Twidget. So far, I've been on for about 2.5 hours. I'm actually going on, about 2.5 hours. It hasn't locked up yet, so I'm hopeful that it will be fine and I can resume using OBS. However, I am going to use StreamYard 1 week out of the month so I can invite guests. Because we had a lot of fun last night on StreamYard, and, you know. Tom Grassi said, Jim is in Groundhog Day. Yeah, it could be. Stuck in time and space, right? Corey says, if you really want to offend an Indian, call them a bull sucker. Cows are sick. Oh, yeah, there you go. I got to remember that. Thanks, Corey. That's a good one. Yeah, that'll probably really piss them off. That's true. They think their cows are relatives or whatever. You hear about that? It was 2 or 3 years ago. McDonald's, they have McDonald's in India. They got in trouble for selling cow meat on their menu because they don't eat cows over in India. They almost got thrown out of the country over it. It was some new guy, I guess, took over as manager and didn't know. It sounds like a load of shit, but it's pretty funny either way. Is it evening? Shit, it's night. It's night, Tom. Hell, it's what, 9:25? I don't know where the hell the night went, man. I get on this thing, it's like I'm here forever, you know? It's showing that I started streaming 2 hours ago, but that's not true, because I started at, when the hell did I start? 6:30, 7 o'clock? No, it was a little after 7, quarter after 7, I think. I was only going to stay on there for a little bit. I just wanted to see if this stuff would work, and I thought, well, I better check it out, make sure it doesn't lock up at the 2.5 hour mark. So far, so good. Because, I'm not going to be on here till 10 o'clock tonight. I can tell you that right now. All right, Steve, enjoy your dinner and have a good and safe weekend, and we'll see you next time. Dave says, going to be able to set up some tracks. All the kids headed for Arizona tomorrow. Hey, there you go. Yeah, it's like a day off for you or a day of progress, right? That works. Corey says, McDonald's serves Soylent Green anyway. Doesn't matter what corner of the earth it is. That's true. I won't eat McDonald's. I stopped eating McDonald's years ago, for the most part. I mean, Tom, what did I get it the last time we went to McDonald's? You, me, and the two Debbies. Oh, it was a breakfast menu. I think I got a, shit, I don't remember what it was. Something for breakfast. A sausage or something. But I stopped eating their burgers years and years ago. Same with Burger King. I won't eat there either. It's all garbage as far as I'm concerned. And you really don't know what it is. A McMuffin, yeah, that's what it was. Okay, I couldn't remember, and it wasn't too bad, but I'm not a big fan of McDonald's, All right, Dave, well, have a good night and a good weekend, and we'll see you next time, and don't forget to play with your trains, man. So, Ray says the only thing I get at McDonald's is coffee. My wife was getting coffee from them, and she said it was really screwing up. She said that there might have been too much caffeine in it. And she would drink a McDonald's coffee and be wired for most of the day. So I said, well, quit drinking that shit, I don't know what the hell is in it. I don't drink coffee, so like I said, I can't say much either way. Yeah, that's true, Rick. They really are. I mean, you know, when I was a kid, like real, I think it was like maybe 6 or 7 years old. We had a McDonald's that was 50 miles away from where I lived up in New Jersey. They were still pretty new. I mean, I remember, I think they had the sign where they said, like, I think it was like over 1 billion sold now. I think at the time it was like over 10,000 sold. you know, they were relatively new. Uh, uh, I don't think they had Big Macs at that time, but a regular cheeseburger was 15 cents. My dad would take us, me, my sister, my mother, to McDonald's once a year because, like I said, it was a 50-mile drive each way, and we would eat McDonald's. But I'm telling you, the burgers were huge, and I mean, yeah, I was smaller, but they were still pretty good size. Real meat. They had great taste to them, and I don't know what happened, Dad. I guess they just got cheap. Hey, Deegan there, Deegan. Hi, you can tell me how to pronounce your damn name. It's Deegan, right? That makes more sense. So like pronounce Deegan. I don't think it's Dagan. It sounds more like Deegan. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I'm very bad with some names. So, if it's Deegan, just say yes. and I won't mispronounce your name anymore. Rick said Big Macs used to taste good. McDoubles were good back then. No, they're bland now. And they're tiny. They're like getting what, like maybe 2 ounces of meat. Remember when that old lady used to do "Where's the beef"? That was for a different company, but I think she was referring to McDonald's. Where's the beef? Because there wasn't any. And even Burger King went to hell too. My ex-wife, she worked at Burger King back in the, it would have been, I think, 1980, somewhere around there for a short time. And she would always bring home free food. But that food was good. I mean, it wasn't bad. Last time I went to a Burger King, which was several years ago, I ordered a burger. I got a gum infection. So they're basically selling dirty meat or something. I don't know what's going on there, but I just quit. Okay, good. Thank you, Deegan. That's all I needed to know. So I don't pronounce or mispronounce your name. I hate doing that. It's embarrassing. Corey says, "Yeah, Rick, it's like they forgot what salt and pepper is." I know. Well, you don't even know what the hell's in the meat. I do know that McDonald's, as far as I know, they're still using worm meal in their burgers. It's considered a source of protein. I don't technically have a problem with it, but I would prefer straight up beef. you know, I don't really like fillers. So, I don't know. Like I said, and you're right, Rick, they did shrink. Every year they seem to get smaller. A Big Mac now is what, $8? Are they serious? you know? I don't know. Yeah, Culver's is good. Now, we had a Culver's in Naples. I've only been there a few times. And man, they got some great food. They're a little pricey too, but at least you get decent food. Here, on the other hand, they don't have a Culver's here in Sebring. Tom, if you're still on, didn't you say they were going to put one up here sometime? I know they're putting up the chicken place, but I thought somebody told me that there might be a Culver's coming in here. I would like to see one here because I would definitely eat there. I can't remember though if that were true, and I know that the Chick-fil-A they're going to build here, the chicken place, they got good food. I haven't eaten there in a while, but they're good. See, Tom says Culver's is coming near the CVI. I thought you told me that it was. I can't wait. Matter of fact, when they open up, the four of us should get together, you, me, and both Debbie's, and go there and get some food. That'll be good. I know my Debbie would enjoy that because she's always telling me, "You don't take me out anymore." That's because most of the places aren't worth going out to. You know. Oh yeah, they got great ice cream too. Tom's next to Popeyes. I know where that's at, Tom. Let's see. Corey says the Big Mac and the Primanti sandwich were supposed to be a working class sandwich when they were introduced. I never heard of the Primanti sandwich, but well, I'm sure that was their intention. But you know what? Wait, remember all the founders are dead. What was it? Ray Kroc was the founder of McDonald's, I think. He died some years ago. I don't know who took over. It was a family member or not. But the same thing with Wendy's when what the hell was his name? I can't remember his name now. The founder of Wendy's, he died several years ago, and the day after he died, they started serving soy burgers because we had a Wendy's right across the street from where I worked at the golf course. So every day I'd go over there for lunch because it was close, cheap, reasonable. And I went there right with Dave Thomas. When Dave Thomas died, I went over to get a burger. It was literally the next day after he died. And I'm going, what happened to the beef? What do you mean, sir? I said, this isn't meat. This is soy. No, it's nice. Yes, it is. I know what soy tastes like. I've had it before. And this is soy. I says, consequently, if you're going to do this, you just lost a customer. I won't be back. And I didn't go back for like 6 months. I went back for maybe they figured it out. Well, they did. They had so many complaints about serving soy that they had to stop doing it. But whoever took over for Dave Thomas, probably Wendy, all about the money. And I tell you, it's all bullshit, man. Yeah, that's right. Chick-fil-A is in the shopping center, but I want to go there too. It's not done yet, though, right? I think they've just started building it. We'll have to go there sometime too. They got good food. Yeah, see, Rick, for Dave Thomas. I couldn't remember it. I remember eventually, but sometimes, most times. Thomas. Yeah, Wendy's was Dave. Forgot it. Yeah, Dave Thomas. Well, say even the Colonel. Kentucky Fried Chicken. When he was alive, they were trying to get him to do all this weird shit with the commercials and stuff. And I met the Colonel when he was alive. He was actually in Naples. I told the story. I won't repeat it, but he is a very upstanding Southern gentleman. He really was. I'm sure he was an asshole too, but because most of them guys were. But they wanted him to do all this new age shit, using because like now they got rap and all this stuff in the Kentucky Fried Chicken. He was totally against it. He said no. He said I have a dignified eatery, and I'm going to keep it that way as long as I still hold breath. They couldn't wait for him to die. Literally, right after he died, they came out with all this weird shit. Well, they got the chicken popcorn or whatever the hell it is. And they got all this shit that he was against. He wanted to keep it strictly the basic menu that they've had since the beginning. So you run into this all the time. 28 minutes till 10. Yeah, it's pretty close. I'm going to knock off at 10 for sure. But thanks for that time tip there. Ray says, when I would visit my dad, there was a McDonald's across the street, ordered a burger, and it was cold by the time I got home. Cheese was not melted, etc. I once asked him if I could get a hot burger and pissed him off. Yeah, I'm sure. You can make it. Of course I can. Right, cut into my TV time, though, I'm backlogged. I've literally got about probably a good 5,000 TV shows I need to watch. They're all in the computer, and I just watch them whenever I feel like, but I'm really behind. Corey said Dave Thomas was a Kentucky colonel, just like Colonel Sanders. Was he really? who he used to work. I didn't know that. I'll be damned. You learn something new every day. Yeah, Wendy took over Wendy's, and when they were going to change the face, they were going to put like something. I guess she's kind of a big girl, like big girl, and they were going to update the Wendy's character on the signs. And I guess they did some sort of a poll, and people were kind of offended by a porker being put on there. So they kept it the same, as far as I know. Rick says, I believe Wendy's was stayed in Columbus, Ohio. I wouldn't be surprised. And they're good. They have good food. They still do. They just have to remember what made them good and keep it that way. See, McDonald's and Burger King, they kind of forgot. They got the greed bug going on there. Yeah. And you don't know what the hell they're selling. Remember, McDonald's got busted for serving horse meat? Was it about 20 years ago? I very rarely ate McDonald's, so I'm pretty sure I didn't get it. I mean, meat to me is meat, but, But it's unethical and probably illegal. But they got caught doing that. Then they got caught with the worms and the birds. They're still using them. But somehow or another, they got some sort of pass for that. Yeah. They're always looking for a way to save a buck. Corey says, yeah, it was started in old Ohio, Columbus. It sounds like it probably would be. And like I said, I've always liked Wendy's. They're more expensive than the others, but the food is generally better, so kind of a reasonable trade-off the way I see it. And Rick said, what? Then thing that I missed from McDonald's is Grimace and the hamburger. Oh, yeah. Those guys are funny. I remember when I was a kid. Well, when the original Ronald McDonald, I mean, he's long dead, I think, the original one. And they had all the characters, the Hamburglar, the Grimace, I can't even remember half of them now, but I remember going to McDonald's, and you old guys probably remember, guys my age. Remember the flying hamburger? I actually saw that. It was at one of the new McDonald's here in Florida back in 1969 when we first moved down here. So my parents got us all and threw us in the car, and we went to go see the flying hamburger. It was a little hovercraft. It was kind of cool, though, But it was different. But like I said, they changed so much over the years. I think greed took over everything. And it's very unfortunate because nobody benefited from it. Not even them, Once you get past your first $1 billion, what the hell difference does it make after that, Time to bring out some water. Well, the stocking makes me thirsty. I never met the king, though. I had this thing when I was a teenager. Used to drive my ex-wife crazy because she worked at Burger King for a while. Anytime I went to a Burger King, I'd go inside. I never went through the drive-thru much. So I always went inside. So, I'd like to speak to the king. Is he here? And they'd look at me like they were all like they didn't know how to answer me, I mean, I know the king was a fictional character. I mean, there was somebody who portrayed the king. But that's what I'd go. Every time I went in there, is the king here? I need to speak to him now. Sir, he's not here today. When's he going to be in? Well, we're not really sure. Is there something I can help you with, sir? Well, not really. This is really between me and the king. I need to see him, I would run with it. My wife would go, and why do you do that shit? Because I can, That's just the way it is. Corey said they have a Grimace shake now. It looks like Purple Death. I'm not surprised. I'll stay away from that, thank you. Yeah, races. I remember McDonald's, KFC, Wendy's back in the day. I was a long haul trucker and loved a good meal when I had a long day. Just wanted to get a bite and then on to bed. I don't go to any of them anymore. Well, no, because I don't want to shit, you know. But back in the day, it was good food. And they still has good burgers, and they're hard to find now. We had one in Naples for a while. I think they went out under too. It was Checkers, and they're like half-pound burgers. You know, they're huge. They're not very expensive, and it's real meat. And I started going there with my son before he died. We would go for there for lunch between jobs, and I always order the big half-pound burger. You know, that's some good food, man. Well, like I said, but like all good things, it went away. Tom says, I remember the 2 for $2 quarter-pounder deals. I gained weight in those days. I remember those too, Tom, as a matter of fact. I think I bought a few of them. Like I said, they have something good. And then they quit. You know, Burger King, for example, they had the Angus burger. Those were great, but it was a limited deal. And I was buying them as often as I could because they were excellent. They were thick and big and not overcooked. I mean, they were done right. You paid a little more for them. And then they quit selling them, so I quit buying them. I quit going to Burger King, but you know, here nowadays I try and stay away from fast food whenever I can. But if we do eat, generally I'll stop at a Wendy's. But I have no problem going to Culver's or Chick-fil-A or even a good diner. They have a diner up here, the Sebring Diner. I don't know if you've ever been there or not, Tom. Me and Deb went there. I think me, Deb, and her mother. And the food was good. It was a little pricey, but it was good food, and the service was good, and it was a nice atmosphere. It kind of reminded me of what was that diner? Mel's Diner down in Naples. Not affiliated with Mel's, like he says, the Sebring Diner, but it kind of had that air about it, you know. It was nice, but I thought it was too expensive to go there on a regular basis, so I've only been there twice. Like I said, I'm not really big. Oh, there you go. Tom says, I wish they had built a Whataburger here. Never eat at one of those. I would try it probably, but I've never ate it once, so I don't know anything about them. Give them time though. You know, it's remember Sebring is a lot like Naples was back in the '60s. There's a lot of you know similarities because you know we moved into Naples in 1969, and there wasn't much in Naples. It was pretty barren. It actually today's Sebring completely blows away Naples in 1969. My wife said, "Well, they don't have nothing here." I said, "Well, she didn't come into Naples until I think in the '90s. Well, everything was already built up then. But in '69, even through most of the '70s, Naples was pretty sparse. You know, there wasn't much there. And that Sebring reminds me of that time in Naples. It's very similar here. It's going to build up here because, you know, I moved here. And every place I move, they got to screw up because it's not my fault, but sometimes it seems like it is, you know. They can't leave nothing the hell alone. But we do need some. We do need something. What we really need here is a Sam's Club. Now, I was told they wouldn't put one here because they didn't have enough. They didn't have enough people here to make it worthwhile. But I would love to see a Sam's here because, see, I got a Sam's Club membership. I've had one for many, many years. And back in Naples, it was one right around the corner from the house. That's where I got my gas. It was like 4 or 5 cents cheaper than everybody else, and the gas was decent. And I would go back to buying Sam's gas, but there isn't one here. I don't even know where the nearest Sam's Club is. Maybe in one of the bigger cities, 50 miles away, like Orlando or someplace. But there's nothing here. So, yeah. Rick says Burger King has the nasty burger that has nasty after. Yeah, they do now. Um, it's like it's been a while, but I had one probably 5 or 6 years ago. And it's never again. It did leave a bad aftertaste, and I don't know what the hell it was. You know, it wasn't right though. I can tell you that. That's true. At least they're not building mid-rise condos in the park. Not yet, anyway. They're supposedly out back off of what is it, 98? There's a development going in there. I think it's for old people. It might be a what do you call that? A assisted living complex. I think. I don't think they're going to be real tall. They want it to be 2 or 3 stories, but that's going to be about it. There's not. You won't see skyscrapers here. I guarantee you that. I don't think the town will let it happen, and thank God for that. Ray says we had a Burger King. They had 2 locations in town. You could order anything your way. They did it their way, no matter what you ordered. Both closed within 3 years. Yeah, I had that problem with the Naples Burger King. They had 2 locations too. I usually went to the north location, close to where I live. And the few times, because I'm a very picky eater. I like my burgers with just a burger. I don't eat the lettuce, onion, tomato, any of that shit. I just don't eat it. Ketchup only with cheese. I'd get it, got everything on it, take it back. Was there some of the English I spoke? Was that beyond your understanding? No, sir. Then what the hell is this? Oh, sorry, sir. And they could make it right anyway. And only once I'd actually go back twice in the same sitting because they screwed it up twice. And when I demanded to see the manager the second time, they decided to get it right. You know. And that's just the way it is, you know. And that's the way I eat them anywhere I go, so. Ray said we had. That's where I got doubles here. How come? Oh, Tom says 55 plus. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's close to assisted living. It's a senior thing, right? I actually qualify for that now. Well, I'm actually a little late for that. I'm 64 officially now. 1 year away from old fart. So nobody can call me an old fart before next year. Bad. Corey said there's a Burger King franchise named Tom's King. They closed over 100 locations. I never heard of them. Huh. Yeah, Tom, they named it after you. Makes you feel a little royal, doesn't it? You know, back in Naples, like I said, in the late 60s, early 70s, they had White Castle. We had Dog and Suds. We had, it was another hot dog place, too. I can never remember the name of it. But they had all these great restaurants. Oh, what was the one? The fish and chips. They had fish and chips. And they had the other fish place, the Long John Silver's. All those shops were there, and they all wound up going away. The only things that survived: Burger King, McDonald's, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know, and I think they had a Taco Bell. I don't do tacos, so I never go there. But you know, all the really great places, they just went away. I used to love going to Dog and Sons, man. That was a drive-through and drive-in, whatever. Hey, Dwayne, how's it going? Good to see you here. Good evening, everyone. Yes, it is evening, isn't it? Hey, good to see you here. This is just a test. It's not a real stream. I guess it really is, though, so I won't tell if you don't. Rick says, I believe Walmart honors Sam's Club stuff. I don't know if they do or not. But see, I don't really like Walmart either. I was in, my mother-in-law, or my wife rather, she had to go get an eye exam. She went to the one in Walmart, which was crazy. They wanted ridiculous. I would have never paid that much, but that's where she wanted to go. So we went to the Walmart in Sebring. I generally don't go there. I don't like it. I go to the Walgreens and can't remember the next town over, but that's where I go. But anyway, so I'm talking to this reader in there, a Mexican woman, and she's telling me, she says, this place really sucks. I go, well, I know that. She goes, I don't really want to work here, but I can't get a job anywhere else. She says, I've got back issues. I got a doctor's order. I'm supposed to sit down for 10 minutes every half hour. I haven't sat down my entire shift today because they won't let me, And I'm thinking, what a bunch of shit, But she said that, she says, yeah, my mom won't even come in this store. She says, even though I work here, she will not step foot in this store. She goes to the other one too, And I'm going, well, Arthur Treacher's, I remember them. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, Arthur Treacher's fish and chips. They had good food back in the day. I don't know what happened to them, why they went under, but I guess they did. Avon Park, I can never remember that, I should remember because my youngest daughter's name is Nova, which is Avon backward. I should be able to put the two together, and go figure, right? Anyway, I like the Walmart in Avon Park. Even though Avon Park has a higher crime rate than Sebring does, but, because my wife says, aren't you afraid to go in? I said, well, I do carry every now and then. So, if somebody wanted to get stupid, they're probably going to get dead. So I'm not too worried about it, But I said, but the store is cleaner. There's not as many people in it, And I think they have a better selection of merchandise because I said the one in Sebring, everybody goes there. They clean the place out probably every other day. And the employees can't keep up with it. So I would rather drive the extra 10 miles to go to Avon Park and be done with it. But, that's just me. Because what I have a deal is, my mother-in-law, she sold her car before she moved to New Mexico, which she discovered was a big mistake. So when she came back, well, she didn't have money to buy another car because, car prices are nuts. So now she relies on either me or Debbie or her daughter, or sometimes she gets they have a van that will take you back and forth to the store once or twice a month. My problem is, they come and get her, it's a minivan. They'll take her to Walmart for like 1 hour, which isn't long enough, and she can only bring back one bag. You can't have more than one bag of stuff. It's like, well, she can't buy anything. So we set up a deal where I take her there once a month for, half a day, and I'll do some of my shopping. And yeah, definitely less crowded, Tom, that's for sure. And let her get all her shopping done. She could fill the trunk of my Grand Marquis. I don't care, So I do that. A lot of times Deb will take her other times because I want to go Walmart once a month. That's it. The only thing I really buy from them is the test strips for my diabetic meter because they're cheaper than anywhere else, And my insurance doesn't really cover that, not sufficiently. So it's cheaper for me to just pay cash for it and be done with it. The only place I get them is Walmart. Sometimes I'll order it online, but I have to pay shipping, which is like another $5, which of course sucks. So generally, though, I'll buy enough to get me through a couple of months when I go on the 1 month deal. Other than that, there is nothing in Walmart that I think is decently priced. Winn-Dixie is cheaper. I drink a lot of ginger ale. You always see me with a ginger ale in my hand. I could buy the store brands, 3 12-packs for $13 at Winn-Dixie. In Walmart, it's $6 a 12-pack. So I'm getting 3 for the price of 2 in Winn-Dixie over Walmart. And half the time, Walmart doesn't even have it. So, I get a little disgusted with them. Let's see. Corey says, many times as I've been to Walmart, I can count on one hand how many times I see someone I know. It's like the Twilight Zone. I don't know many people here, so I generally don't see anybody I know. But back home, back in Naples, we had a big Walmart, super Walmart, about a mile away from us. And it wasn't bad there because it was clean. It wasn't really crowded. They had a good stock. Like I said, it was a lot different from the one up here. Well, so we would go all the time. Like you said, I'd get on my scooter and just drive that up there instead of taking the car, for small stuff. But I knew everybody in Naples Park, so often I would see somebody I knew. But I also saw a lot of people I probably would want to see, and because they were weird. But that's Walmart. Races Esquire Fish and Chips, Casper's Hot Dogs, and a whole bunch of mom and pop places that are gone down the West Coast now, living in North Carolina, trying to find real food places. Yeah, I'm not familiar with any of those, but that must be a North Carolina thing. But yeah, you're right though. A lot of mom and pop shops just went away. They can't compete. You can't blame them. Especially the price of food right now. Let's face it, if you had a mom and pop hamburger joint, you couldn't stay in business without taking a loss. Because you'd have to sell your burgers for about $10 each. Tom says Biscuitville in North Carolina. Or Biscuitville, okay, Biscuitville, there we go. Never heard of it, but obviously Tom has. Thomas Moore, I'm a smart ass. I buy railroad crap off eBay all the time. Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I buy a lot of stuff off eBay too. I just bought a sign from eBay. I'll have it in time for the next show, I believe. It's I don't know if you guys watch Robert Flying Crow. He's on Track Tuesday. He was just on this past week. He got a sign. Well, he didn't custom make it. I thought he did, but he found a sign with the exact same logo that he uses for his railroad, Flying Crow. Really nice. It was $13. So he put up the link for it on eBay. So I went and checked out the link to see what they had. And I saw the thing. And he said, "We can custom make you a sign." Same price, $12.99 with tax on, was 13 and change. And he already sent me the proof, but it looks pretty good. I had my logo put on an 8x12 metal sign. It's going to go outside above the Sugar Shack sign that I got out there. I'll show it off when I get it. But I know it's pretty cool, I love eBay. I mean, between eBay and Amazon, I should have stock in both of those companies because I buy a lot of crap from either one. Tom, yeah, there were seven. There were actually. I think there's only 6 now, but I'm not sure. Did they shut down that one in? No, I think that's still. They got the one in East Naples, 2 on 951, the one on Immokalee Road, the one in Naples Park. I already lost count. Oh, and then they got the Walmart grocery store off of I think that's on Goodlet Road. But they just sell food. Yeah, they got a lot of Walmarts there. That's a little crazy. Tom's the Walmart. That's actually a little funnier than Wally World. I usually call it Wally World, but yeah, Fred used to call it the World of Wallace. He was a little weird. Rick said eBay is too expensive. Well, you have to be careful, Rick. I mean, some things are ridiculously priced. But every now and then, if you know what you're looking for, and some of the places will ask for offers, like if they can't sell it. And I make offers that could be, 5 to 10% less than what they're trying to get. Most times they'll take it. I was doing that with the filament for my printer. Guy had the deal where he wanted $19.99 for a spool or best offer. So I offered him 17. He says, "Well, how many do you want?" I says, "Well, at the time I was buying 3 at a time." I said, "I'll take 3 of them." He says, "All right." I'll give them to you for 17. So I saved, a few bucks there. But I think the same guy, he's doing a different deal now. I buy 5 rolls for 82 bucks. And I think they're around $16 each. If you break it down. Free shipping. It's a hell of a deal. It's the brand I like. And this is the second time I bought the 5-pack from them. I'll do it more as long as it keeps selling it. But I've seen things, that are outrageously priced on eBay. It's like, really? Do you really think somebody's dumb enough to give you that kind of money for that? I saw this crane that I built. This one here, the International D9. They have manuals for those. They're from this is 1942. It's an old repair manual or owner's manual. What do you mean a repair manual? An owner's manual for that tractor. Guy wanted $65 for it. It's like 4 pages. And I'm going, really? I give you $2 for it. That's all it's worth, I didn't say that because it wasn't a make offer on it, but I guarantee he ain't selling that anytime soon. That's right, there was a small in an airport. I forgot about that one, Tom. You got a good memory, man. I think I've been away from Naples too long. That may be a good thing, though. You know what I just found out, speaking of which? I was talking to a friend down there, and he has another friend who lives on 109th in Naples Park on the 700 block, which is, there's 3 blocks in Naples Park, 800, 700, 600, 500. The 500 blocks are near the finger streets, the canal streets. They're expensive, so you actually will see $1 million houses down there. 700 block is where I was, but I was on 95th. But anyway, this guy just got his tax bill. $4,200 for a 1,300 square foot house. Now, that's crazy. 4,000 bucks. I was paying $1,500 before I sold my house for a 2,100 square foot house. It was all up there. My house was actually worth quite a bit. It actually sold for $1.1 million. The third guy that bought it from me, well, the third owner, after I sold it, they kept flipping it. The last guy sold it for $1.1 million. I sold it for $298. I didn't care. I just wanted to get out of there. But, so I told my wife, because she's still kind of mad at me that I left Naples. I said, Dad, they're going to kill us over there. Everything's going up in price. I couldn't afford the taxes. I make like $14,000 a year from Social Security. Well, after I pay the light bill and the car insurance and food and water and cable and other shit, I don't have a lot of money left over. I was having a tough time pulling together the $1,500 just to pay the property taxes every year. So because my house is now technically worth $1 million, the taxes on it are probably about $10,000 a year. I couldn't pay that if I wanted to. So I'm glad I got out when I did. But this is what's happening down there. Everything, the median price of a house now is $675,000. That's for a 1-1. If you have a decent house, you're talking 900,000 up. It's crazy. My chiropractor, he started in the real estate because there's more money in it. The houses he's selling are anywhere from $9 million to $23 million each. They're just insane down there, it's just crazy. They can keep it. Corey said, I gave up on eBay. Everything I wanted to buy used with shipping is almost as, yeah, that's true. Well, you got to get the free shipping. They do kind of put it in the price, and I know it's after 10, so I'm going to get off here in a minute. Everything I do is free shipping. I don't pay shipping on there. I know they kind of integrate it in there, and a lot of stuff I buy is make offers, so I try and lowball them. In most cases, I get pretty close to what I wanted to pay. But you just, you have to be a little smarter than the sellers, because, hey, look, if they can bend you over, they're going to, Thomas, I seen a Casey Jones Railroad spike for $200. Well, yeah, some moron will buy it. I mean, there's always somebody out there that's got more money than they got brains. I used to put it, they got more dollars and cents. So they seen a BNSF railroad spike for 50, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't pay that much for one, but for a collector, sure. You know, to each his own, I say, but I'm kind of cheap. Ray says, "Holy trout! I pay $540 a year for property taxes in North Carolina. In California, it was $7,000 a year. I know it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. But I heard you can't even touch a 1-1 over there now for less than $1 million. In California, it's nuts. Yeah, they're just gonna run themselves in the ground. That's fine. Hey, Iowa, how's it going? That's all right. This is not even a real stream. It's actually a test stream, which is, believe it or not, working flawlessly. I probably should knock wood on that, but that's why I was trying to make sure that I had everything straightened out. I made some upgrades and some changes, and so far, so good. Thomas says the Santa Fe Railroad spike has a diamond on top. That's cool. A real diamond? Let's see. Iowa says it's pouring down here in Waterloo, Iowa. I'll bet it is. I'm surprised it's not raining here. We're supposed to get like a week's worth of rain from that new hurricane that's out off the East Coast. It's not going to affect Florida. Matter of fact, Ray, be careful up there. If you're near the coast, it's supposed to affect North Carolina's coastal regions. So be careful. Yeah, that's true, Corey. I've been saying that for years too. There's no true ownership. My house is paid for. I paid cash for it. I sold the house down there for $298. I bought this one for $172. It's twice the size of the old one, and I have land. I have almost 2 acres of land. I did it good, but so I paid cash for it. But you're right. I don't technically own it. If I don't pay their damn blood money every year, they'll take it away from me. And I would really like to see them do away with property tax, at least for the elderly anyway. I mean, I don't think anybody should pay it, but see, in Naples, they started, once you turn 65, you can get a big discount on your property taxes, like, I think like 60% off or something like that. Because I have a friend down there, she's in her 70s, and she doesn't pay shit hardly for her property taxes. She lived a couple of streets from me. And if I was too young, you have to be 65 to qualify. I don't know if they're going to do that up here or not. I hope they do. Like I said, next year I'll be 65. And all my kids are grown. And the taxes mostly, most of you guys know taxes are for school, which is also bullshit because the schools are a joke. But once you get past the point where you don't have kids in school, you shouldn't have to pay property taxes anymore, and then you have true ownership. So I got fingers crossed that somebody gets that straightened out. But even a big discount would help. Now, my dad, well, he was a veteran, so that made a difference. I think when he turned 80, he was tax exempt. They never bothered to tell him that. Because I was paying his taxes every year because, it was his money, but he wasn't, capable of doing himself anymore. So I'd cut the check every year to pay the taxes. And then finally, one of the women in there that I sort of half knew, she pulled me aside. She says, you don't have to pay this. So, yeah, I do. They'll take the house. She says, no, your dad's exempt. How is he exempt? Well, he's a veteran, and he's over 80 years old. I didn't know that. By this time he was like 89, 80, 88, somewhere around there. All those years I paid taxes on how he didn't have to pay. And you think some son of a bitch would give me that money back? Yeah, think again. Because I tried to get it back, and I said, oh, no, we're sorry, we don't give refunds. It's your job to see what's going on. Well, you should tell us, damn it. Thomas says, Jim, you should do a contest. As soon as I hit 500, I will. I'm at 419 last I looked. Let me see what I'm at. Now I'm back to 420. So as soon as I hit 500, I will have another contest, definitely. And I will be giving away 3D printed train cars, finished ones. There'll probably be 5 of them. You know, one for each 100 subs I get. I don't know when that'll happen. Could happen next month, could happen next year. We just have to wait and see. But I only do contests when I get, you know, a certain amount of subs. But, you know, if you haven't subbed to me yet, please do. I'm sure most of you guys have. And if I haven't subbed you, let me know and I will. Sometimes you know, I think I subbed to you a few weeks ago, Iowa. I didn't realize I didn't sub to you, but I did sub to you eventually. And there was somebody else I just subbed to, too. I can't remember who it was. See, Corey says, if I only had to pay for it for the life of the mortgage, it wouldn't burn my ass as bad. And that's another thing, too. Once again, once your mortgage is paid, that should be the end of it, you know. You know, now it's funny, there's a meme out. I should probably cut it out and post it. It said before 1913, you know, before most of us were born, but there were no taxes. No property tax, no income tax, you know. And they got along just fine. We had money, they said they had money for, you know, the roads, for the schools. So, what the hell happened here, you know? And you know, the thing is, and I know I shouldn't talk about this, but I don't care. That jackass in Washington, you know what I'm talking about, he just approved $325 million to go to Zelensky in Ukraine. What part of this is he not getting? Stop giving away our damn money. You know? Oh, it pisses me off. Talk about burning my ass. That burns my ass like you wouldn't believe. You know? This is why we're paying taxes. So we can support some bumfuck country. You know? That's all corrupt anyway. Jesus. Thomas says, Jim, next week I will send you a BNSF reel. Hey, that'd be cool. I appreciate that. That'd be nice. Thank you. And Iowa said I had seen that you were doing streaming all week, and I thought I was missing you. No, I've been testing. I've had some problems with OBS. Well, OBS not itself. I just upgraded to the latest version. It seems to be working. But I use a third-party chat called Twidget, and it allows me to do this. To put it up on the screen, your comments. OBS does not have that built in. And boy, the delay is big on this thing. There it is. So Twidget is, there's only 1 or 2 programs that allow you to do it. Now StreamYard, you can do it all day long, but StreamYard doesn't allow me to really easily use multiple cameras. Here I just push a button. I have to fool with it because I use a Stream Deck. But I was having problems with this Twidget. It would lock up, stop receiving chat right around the 2-hour mark, 2 hour 15 minutes. Well, I've been going for 3 hours now. It's still running. So I got a different version and loaded it differently. And this is basically a test to make sure it's going to work. So far, so good. So, and I'm going to end this now because I said I would end at 10, but here I am. Tom Gresham, my ass is burning so much nowadays, I need to get a colonoscopy is what you're trying to say. Yeah, I hear you, man. Hey, it's just, you know, there's so much shit going on. And, you know, if you're going to take my money, at least give me a say in where it's going to go and how it's going to be spent, you know. Of course, they'll never ask us for approval because they know what we'll say, you know. You want to give who how much? I don't think so. You know. We've given Ukraine over $375 billion, with a B, dollars since this shit began. They're never going to beat Russia. because Russia's a superpower. All right? Where is that money actually going? He hasn't got much to show, and not to mention the free weaponry, missiles, ammunition, guns, and everything else we're sending over there. Matter of fact, Poland just said, that's enough. We're not giving Ukraine any more stuff. We're done. Of course, they probably figured, if they keep pissing Putin off, Putin will declare war on them, and I wouldn't blame them. This is nobody's problem but Putin's and the Ukraine's. It's actually Biden's fault anyway. The only reason Putin invaded Ukraine because Biden convinced Ukraine to put UN troops on the Russian-Ukraine border. And missiles. Remember the Cuban Missile Crisis we had in Cuba back in the 60s? Remember what happened there? Kennedy said, no, we're not doing that. We were ready to go to war over that. Well, that's his battle now. He's doing his own version of the Cuban Missile Crisis. He doesn't want nukes on his border because he wouldn't be able to defend against it, and he knows it. And, Biden has a hard-on for Putin anyway because Putin is against the New World Order. He's actually a good guy in sorts. Now, I'm not, promoting him. I'm just telling you what he actually is. Modern Russia is almost as democratic as we used to be. So Putin is egging this whole problem on by trying to force NATO to put troops and missiles on the Ukraine-Russian border. When Trump was president, Trump told both Putin and Zelensky, NATO's not going in there. And he assured Putin he would never allow NATO troops or missiles to be put along the border. So Putin had no reason to invade Ukraine. He's invading Ukraine to create a buffer between Mother Russia, as he would put it, and the NATO countries that are on the other side of Ukraine. And like I said, the Ukraine is a corrupt country. Somebody threatened to expose the money laundering and the child sex trafficking ring that Zelensky's probably in charge of, along with Biden. So now the latest I heard was that there's actually peace talks happening between Zelensky and Putin. I don't know how true that is. That's what I read on the news this morning. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see. All right, I'll be looking forward to that, Thomas. Thank you. Races, what happens if they keep voting themselves raises, retirement? Well, that's another thing, too. That should be our job. They should come up to us and say, hey, we'd like a 5% raise, but, we need your approval. They wouldn't get it, because they're like, well, screw you, When you give us a 15% raise on Social Security, we'll give you your 5% raise on your wages, Stop pissing away our money. Maybe we can actually live a little better with a little more money, And then they should be made to replace all the money they stole anyway. But yeah, you're right. Of course, I really do believe that they are trying to destroy America. The Democrats are. It just looks that way. Did you guys see that? What was it, today or yesterday? In Long Island, New York, the locals were pissed off. They were protesting a busload of illegals being shipped into their town. And the cops, who did they arrest? The people, not the immigrants. They didn't turn the busload of immigrants away, which they should have. Instead, they arrested half of the protesters out there, which were peacefully protesting. But, and I tell you, I'm behind the cops 100% most of the time. These cops need to get the shit kicked out of them, for picking the wrong side. But this is what's going on in our country today. The illegals have more rights in California. They're throwing veterans out of motels so they can house illegals. I got a real fucking problem with that. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised, and I wouldn't blame them if the veterans armed up and took care of business, you know. And really, they need to do that, too. Corey says, LOL, Thomas. If you have to get an endoscopy and a colonoscopy, get the endoscopy first. The flavor is more tolerable. I don't want either. I won't do a colonoscopy. I did the shit in the box deal. What do they call that? I can't remember what it's called now. Cologuard. I did the Cologuard because I absolutely refuse to let somebody shove a tube up my ass. Not happening, you know. And I used to argue with the guy. Said, you're 50. You need a colonoscopy. You know what? You need to kiss my fucking ass. I'm not getting one. You know. Well, how do you know you don't have colon cancer? I said, well, if I do, I'm going to die, you know. But you can't fix it anyway, so there's no point in fishing for something that may not be there, you know. So I did the Cologuard twice already. When they first came out, it was a once-in-a-lifetime deal. They said if you do it once and it comes back negative, you're fine for the rest of your life. Now they're saying you should do it every 3 to 5 years. Doesn't cost me nothing, so I had no big deal, but, you know. I just did one like 6 months ago, 5 months ago. Came back negative, so well, duh. You know, it doesn't run in our family. I'm not afraid of stuff. I just don't like the idea of it. I've heard too many horror stories where they rip your colon or puncture the colon, or they do a lot of things can go wrong. It's not as safe as, and not only that, but a damn dye you gotta drink, man. Jesus. What the hell, you know? Iowa says a train live is talking about politics and Russia, LOL, but it's pretty real business. Well, no, it's true. I mean, we talk about everything here. You know, we try and stay train related as much as we can, but every now and then somebody brings up something political, and I'm a glutton for politics. I just can't keep my mouth shut. And I gotta be careful because, you know, sometimes I say things that get me in trouble, but it is what it is. Corey says, I'm not anti-Semitic, but it burns my ass that Zelensky is not even a Slav running a Slavic country. Come to think of it, neither was Stalin or Marx. And he is a dictator, or wannabe dictator. You can just tell, I don't like him. You know, I see him and I see a Fidel Castro. I kid you not. I don't, you know, they don't look alike, but they act alike, you know. And this guy he's got no, what's the word for it? Can't think of the word, but he's not ashamed to beg for money. He just came over here begging for money, and idiot, you know, Brandon gives him $325 million. Hell, I wish they'd give me $325 million. I'd make better use of it, you know. Those sons of bitches, I'll tell you what. I get so pissed off. My last name rhymes with Putin, so my Dupas is on fire talking about Ukraine. Dupa. There's a word I have not heard since I was a kid. My grandmother was Hungarian, you know, and that was one of her favorite words. I'll smack you on the Dupa. Yeah. Oh, damn, that's not good, you know. And what did they call the kerchief? It was a babushka. She always wore a babushka, you know. It's funny I remember this stuff, but I said that was the Hungarian in her, you know. Now, my grandfather was Italian. So, my dad's family is straight Italian. My mother's half and half Italian, half Hungarian. So, technically, I'm half Hungarian, or at least a part Hungarian. But I refer to myself as a full Italian, you know. But it's funny that I remember those words, you know. Yeah. Corey says, Jim, whatever they view on the colonoscopy is still better than what CNN press. That's true. Of course, they ain't going to find much shit in there because they done cleaned it all out. And I ain't talking about CNN. Ray says, I agree, Jim. This government treats citizens like poop, and feeds the illegals. I know it is. It's terrible. Well, it's votes. You know it. They're bringing these guys in. Look, we're going to let you come in the country. We're going to give you free everything. But you got to vote for us, because if you don't, you know, I don't know what they tell them. They probably tell them something like, we'll kill you, or we'll throw you to the sharks on the other side of the border. Who the hell knows? But you know damn good and well, they're pushing the vote Democrat bullshit, you know. And of course, they're going to vote for whoever kisses their asses. So, you know, because right now, as well, I don't know about right now, but previously, the Republicans outnumbered the Democrats not by much. I think it was like 51 to 49, with 51 Republicans to 49% Democrats. That's not counting the independents and stuff, but there's a lot of independents will vote Republican in most cases. So they know that they're gonna get their asses handed to them in 24, the Democrats. So they're trying to bring in as many Democrats, and these people can't legally vote anyway, but they're gonna let them. You watch, you know. I think we should ban the precincts and actually physically restrain any illegal from voting, even at the risk of going to jail over. We should not let them cast a ballot, period. If you're not a United States citizen, you cannot vote in the presidential election. That's the damn law, you know. But this is what the Democrats are going to do. They're going to try and bring in all these damn illegals, give them a driver's license, which in most cases gives them an automatic voter ID or voter registration, and these idiots are going to go to the polls and vote. If they outnumber us, well, we're screwed. And of course, after the Democrats win the election, which they won't, but if they did, they'll just shit on the illegals anyway, because the illegals are being used and they're too stupid to know it. Same with the blacks. I mean, blacks aren't stupid, but the Democrats have been using the blacks for as long as I've been alive, you know. And some of the blacks are starting to figure out the Democrats really don't like them. And the Democrats are behind the slavery and the anti-black attitude and all that other stuff. You know, the Democrats invented the KKK. And yet a lot of the blacks still support the Democrats. Now, fortunately, a lot of the blacks are changing hands and voting. They want to vote for Trump because, you know, Trump has proven himself. But, you know, it's a big mess. It really is. Iowa says, I'm pretty sure half of my video content is CN, so sometimes I think CN fan instead of Iowa fan. There you go. That's all right. Doesn't matter. We'll still watch them. Ray said they already done that. Yeah, they did, pretty much. Yeah, and the thing is, there's a big Republican base in California, but there's a bigger illegal base in California. And I'll tell you, that's why they were talking about how much you pay attention, but damn, I'm going way over time here, ain't I? I don't care. They wanted to split California into 3 separate states. North and South California, and I don't remember what the middle one was going to be, but because North California apparently is mostly Republican. It's more red than blue. Where the South California, my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is mostly Democrat. And the middle, I think, is half and half. The problem is South California has more of a political pull than the rest of California does. And that's why they were kicking around breaking up the state into 3 separate areas so that North California would have become a red state. It would probably help in the elections, I would guess. Corey says, if I ever need a new identity, I'm going to get a tan, shave my head, and cross the Rio Grande back in the U.S. with no ID or paperwork. I've been saying that for years. It'd be better off to go over there, lose all your identity, like you said, change your friends a little bit, start speaking some bullshit Mexican or something, Spanish, right? Cross illegally and they'll give you everything. You know. Go figure. Yeah, I know, Thomas. It's 10:30. And I really should get the hell off of here. All right, I will see you later. Have a good weekend. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we'll see you later. And the rest of you guys, Corey and Ray and Tom Grassi and the other Thomas, and let's see who else we got. I think I covered everybody. Anyway, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me, and have a good evening and a safe and fun weekend, and we'll see y'all on Thursday. And I guess we can write this off as a success. We're good to go. So guys, take care and play with your trains like I'm going to do. And for that, I'm going to throw the outro up, and we'll see you next time. Where's that? I was right about that anyway. Good night, Tom.